I'm very excited about the season ahead. When you are the #1 team, you become more of a target. The expectations are very high. We're not arriving thinking we're world champions and that we're trying to defend it. We want to win it. Formula 1 doesn't stop.
Very welcome everyone to this new Watchalong session, and it's the day. Finally is the day, and I'm really happy because I'm bringing back today probably my most popular documentary ever of all I've made, probably the documentary that made you start to follow this channel, or at least one of them, and it's the final chapter of the trilogy. The final battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton, this time for the 2016 Formula 1 Championship, as a Mercedes teammates, all friends, new rivals. This is the Silver War 2016, and as I said, it's part of the trilogy. But this is the first documentary ever I made about this rivalry in 2016. I made it at the end of the season. I uploaded this documentary to this YouTube channel, and it was the video that, thanks to this video, I reached a lot of subscribers. People start to know me or to know my work. That's why I'm really, really grateful to this documentary. And at the end, it's a rivalry between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg during 3 consecutive years. This is the final one, the final battle. I was explaining in the Watchalong of the 2014 documentary the background between the friendship Nico and Lewis had previously to these chapters, these 3 years fighting as a teammates in Mercedes for the championship. So I will not repeat the story in case it's the first time you are watching a documentary like this one. As I said, in the 2014 Watchalong, probably I will play a car somewhere here in case you can go there to the 2014 Watchalong, where I explain a bit more in depth the story between these two drivers. This is the car that Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton were driving in this documentary, guys. In the previous 2 years, in 2015 and 2014, spoilers in case you have not watched it, Lewis was the winner of the rivalry, okay, in 2014 and 2015. And it's very important to understand the context of this documentary from the Nico Rosberg perspective. It's 2 consecutive years where his old friend and new rival Lewis Hamilton in the same car than him was beating Nico Rosberg. That means this is the third time both will be the only one that fights for the championship in the same car. So if Nico loses a 3rd consecutive year against Lewis Hamilton, it could be too much for his reputation as a driver, because at the end, Formula 1 drivers are very competitive. And Nico Rosberg has behind him these losses. The previous years he lost against Lewis Hamilton in the same car, And it was close to winning the previous 2 years, especially in 2014, but at the end was Lewis the final winner. And if Nico loses again in 2016 in a 3rd consecutive season, it will not be really good for him. And it's like, Nico needs to win this year. Absolutely, he needs it, He needs to prove that it can beat Lewis Hamilton in the same car. So that's why in this documentary we will see how tension increase and at maximum in some point of the documentary, because Nico is desperate to win finally, and at the same time Lewis wants to keep winning and to keep beating Nico Rosberg, his teammate, So that's why this documentary is so intense and why people love so much, because the rivalry was at the peak of the trilogy, As always, I like to see the grid of that season in 2016. It's now 10 years ago. Unbelievable, 10 years ago that happened that. This is the grid, and as I always explain, in this season, Mercedes will be the fastest car by miles. They will have a much more competitive car than others. But it's true that, for example, as always, Ferrari drivers will be there at some point, challenging, and also the Red Bull Racing drivers with Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen, they will be They will be fighting sometimes in the front. In some races, they had a good car. And obviously Ferrari with Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen. Some races were there, close to Mercedes, but in general, Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton had the dominant car once again, and they will be the drivers that will fight for the championship. So basically, this is the rest of the grid with, I think, 11 teams, exactly that, like this year. Yeah. Silver War is really special. I'm agree with you. It's really special. And I think now looking back 10 years ago, 12 years ago, watching these documentaries again, we realize how lucky we were be witness of this rivalry, you know? That's why that's a happy day today. It's a happy day because we will see the peak of the rivalry in 2016. Nothing more to say about it or to explain. Let's watch the documentary, guys. Let's start watching. As I said, let's watch the first 45-50 minutes, the first half. Today, next week, let's watch the second half. But anyway, it will be interesting. Since race 1, this documentary is so special. And as I said, let's watch, and I will bring back to you, to this channel, after, remember, this documentary, F1 2016 Silver War, was blocked in YouTube after 3 years or something that was uploaded. So this is the comeback, indeed, in that way, in a way of watch along. But it's not just the comeback, it's the comeback. It's the first time I will be... we will be here on this channel watching the ultimate edition of the Silver War documentary. You will see the colors are much better, graphics are much better, sound is much better. So let's enjoy it, guys. The first race in Australia, Australian Grand Prix. This is the starting grid of the...
It's a big challenge, and every year is a big year.
This is Nico Rosberg, boys.
Good time, good enough break. It's nice to be back, that's for sure.
Lewis Hamilton all ready to start a new season.
It's a great opportunity at the moment, and I look forward to it. I look forward to this challenge of going up against Lewis again.
Again, one more year, for third consecutive year. So basically, this is the intro, as you can see. But these words from Nico and Lewis says everything. They are saying this is our third season as a championship contenders, as a rivals, as old friends, and as teammates. And Nico wants to go for it, you know. So let's see what happened just in the first race, Australian Grand Prix, just exactly in the weekend I'm streaming this. We are in the first round also of the 2026 season in Australia. And this season in 2016 also started in Australia. So here we go. First race of the final chapter of the trilogy, of the Silver War Trilogy. Nico Rosberg versus Lewis Hamilton, round 3, season 3. Here we go. Let's start.
And it's lights out and away we go.
Lewis on pole. But not on pole anymore.
From Sebastian Vettel.
Sebastian takes the lead. What a start.
On the inside, Hamilton on the outside.
And also lose the place, Lewis with Rosberg and Raikkonen. Wow. What about the start? Watching this race start of the both Ferraris, it's sadly similar to what is happening in 2026. If you see, you are seeing how fast is starting the Ferraris this year in 2026, in the race start simulations. Sadly, what happened in 2026, the Ferrari is flying at the start. So Lewis lost a lot of places. Another one with Williams. It's Massa, I think.
Has the Williams for company into turn.
Wow. And Nico, I think, is second, something like that, third.
He's gonna have a little go on the inside here. Massa goes wide, Hamilton swoops round the inside.
And Lewis goes through. Yes, P5.
Into 5th place.
Good job. Ferrari beating, Mercedes as well. It's Vettel.
They tried Mercedes with Nico.
Oh, it's close.
It's a great effect because here comes Rosberg. He's attacking Sebastian Vettel. Into turn 3 we go. Vettel just stays ahead.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
I can't get past this guy. Lewis, so you can take it easy and we'll just extend the stick.
Now Lewis is 5th, I think, behind Max Verstappen in the Toro sorry, no. Yes, remember, I have to say something. Verstappen started this season in Toro Rosso, okay? That was what is right now Racing Bulls. At that time, the name was Toro Rosso. But in round 5, he switched to Red Bull Racing. So in these first 4 races, you see Max Verstappen that is in front, but it's in Toro Rosso, in the minor Red Bull team. So that's why the change you will see from race 5 onwards in Red Bull Racing to Max. Yeah, who knows? Let's see. if it's McLaren, if it's Ferrari.
Gotta be another strategy, guys. Can't be stuck with this guy behind him for ages.
Oh, that's Fernando Alonso in the McLaren Honda. Wow, what a crash. I remember this crash. Probably was the worst, the more serious crash Fernando had in his entire Formula 1 career. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Red flag, Nico. Red
flag, obviously.
Going into the pit lane.
Nico is second behind Vettel. I put this, obviously, when I made the documentary, I also put this footage to show people that had no idea about that season in Formula 1, that Alonso was okay after that massive crash. But I think he had broken something on his body, some kind of bones in his back or something like that. Even I think he missed the next race because of that accident in Bahrain. So fortunately, it was okay, but what a crash. Hamilton, Verstappen, or Rosberg. Wow, that's tricky. Okay, because I explained it sometimes I upload some videos talking about it. But basically, in the Silver War era, I was cheering for Hamilton at that time over Nico Rosberg. But once, I also was a big fan of Verstappen since the beginning. So, for example, when Lewis was fighting with Rosberg, I was cheering for Lewis. When Max was fighting with Lewis, I was cheering for Verstappen because at that time Lewis won 7 times. So I was hoping for to see a new champion. So, but in general, Hamilton and Verstappen are my favorites of these 3 over Rosberg. But I have to say, I was not fan of Nico Rosberg at all. But once I was making the documentaries through the time, I had to edit in a lot of footage and to see all his races, and I became not in Rosberg fan, but I admire a bit more to Rosberg as well. So at the end, I have my heart is divided, in different parts. Some portions are bigger for Lewis or Verstappen, others for Rosberg. But yeah, it's a mix. But if I have to pick one, I don't know. Between Hamilton and Verstappen, I don't know. Maybe it's difficult. I would say Verstappen, but not by much. So let's continue. Red flag, Alonso crash. Nico is really consistent. We will see in this documentary. He did a great season. Situation, red flag. Lewis is in 7 now. I don't remember why he lost 2 places. But probably he pit earlier than some cars in front, and other cars that were not in front stop or pit under the red flag, and that's why Lewis lost some places. So now he's in 7, not the greatest start of Lewis of the season. And Nico is, I think, is second just behind Vettel, that is still leading the race in the Ferrari. Here we go. Restart again.
Racing once again. Sebastian Vettel ahead then of Nico Rosberg and Kimi Raikkonen.
This is maybe we see that in 2026. I just watched the free practice now, and basically Mercedes is there, Ferrari is there. Maybe we have a similar picture on Sunday. Who knows? Okay, Nico is still second. He cannot pass Vettel for the moment. And Lewis tried to keep recovering places. He's fighting with Toro Rosso as well. I think it's Verstappen is the same, or maybe it's the other Toro Rosso. Nice P4. And that's Vettel, race leader. Bad stop. Bad stop. And that caused him to lose the place with Nico. Nico was lucky there. The bad pit stop of Vettel, makes to take the lead to Rosberg. And Lewis still recovering places, passing, I think, Ricciardo. Now it's P2. And Vettel is chasing now Lewis for second place, that has fresh tires. But he went wide.
Vettel has debris down there, and he's gone deep into the corner.
And Nico wins
the Australian Grand Prix.
Nice.
Well done. Good job.
Yeah! Awesome, guys. Awesome.
Wow, starting in the best way possible, Nico, winning.
Great start to the season.
And Luis, great recovery as well, Luis. It's true that he started on pole, but, well, at least he finished P2.
P2. Good recovery. Bad day at the office, but well done, mate. Good recovery.
Good recovery.
For Nico Rosberg. A 15th win of his Formula 1 career.
Okay, here we are. If you watch a lot of time the previous version of the Silver War, maybe you realize of the changes in the footage. The color is much better. The graphics as well were a bit updated. I hope you enjoyed this new Ultimate Edition. That is really cool. First race, obviously, Luis started on pole position, but he finished second. But after all what happened in this race and the great recovery he did, I think it's a good result for Luis. By the other hand, Nico starts in the best way possible. Can this be the year of Nico Rosberg? Can finally beat Lewis Hamilton after 2 years when he lost? Obviously, if you don't know the story, you have to wait and see. But let's see if it's finally the year or not, or Luis can win the 3rd consecutive championship against Nico. So, round 2 now, move on to Bahrain. Now Rosberg is the championship leader. Let's see if he can defend that in 2nd race of the season. And Luis has to win to match Nico or to beat him in the championship. So, move on to the race number 2. Bahrain. In night time. I love night races. I really love night races. Luis start on pole again. And Nico second. This is the formation lap, don't worry.
Might have an engine failure.
Oh yeah. I remember that. And Vettel even cannot start the race because his engine blow up. So another rival less for the Silver Arrows.
Massive engine failure. It's light.
So here we go.
Away we go.
Luis second on pole and once again lost the place.
I think Rosberg got slightly the better start.
Rosberg passed him in the start. I don't know what happened to Luis in the race starts this season in 2016. 2 race starts on pole. 2 times he lost the place. So now he's just behind Nico. Let's see if he can fight with him now in turn 4. Oh, yeah.
He touches the Mercedes. Hamilton has damage to his bodywork.
Ah, yeah, he was touched by, I think, a Williams. Wow. SP9. Well, it's not been lucky, Luis, in this season, I have to say, for the moment, for what we are seeing.
So it feels wrong in my rear.
Yeah, I think he was hit by the... Not sure if he has floor damage, but the car can continue, but probably has some damage. Now recovering places, P8. Another mistake in front from the Haas. This is the first season of Haas in 2016 as well. This season is very interesting. We have also a new team as is happening this year in 26, an American team, Cadillac. Now in 2016 we have a new team, American as well, Haas. There are a lot of similarities for the moment. I've seen this documentary again 10 years ago. It's incredible. Hamilton still covering places. P6 now. Obviously these cars are much slower.
Bottas easily made it.
Bottas, that was the driver who touched him at the start. SP5. Now Nico pits. Still leading. Comfortable, I think. Has no rival. Luis keep recovering places. P5. We have a Red Bull in front now. I think it's, I don't know, it's Ricciardo or Kvyat. Cannot see the helmet too much. Anyway, P4. Wow, the traction was amazing. Did you saw the traction Luis had in that corner? Unbelievable. Now the Red Bull, now it's in podium places. Great recovery again. And this is Raikkonen. That is in P2. Remember, the other Ferrari is not in race.
So Nico, you're going to the end on this set. Gap to Raikkonen is...
Don't tell me every lap. Just tell me every 4 laps or something.
Nico don't want to receive too much information. He's worried, concerned about having Kimi behind.
Rosberg.
And he wins.
The Bahrain Grand Prix.
Second victory.
Great job, Nico. Great job.
Yeah, awesome guys, yeah!
Amazing. Under the fireworks, I love it. And Luis finished third, even he was not able to finish second because it was Raikkonen who did a great race, finished second. So, after 2 races, you can see this time, in comparison to what happened previous year in 2015, the championship is starting in a much better way for Nico Rosberg. 2 races, 2 victories, and not starting from pole in any of these races. So, unbelievable. And by the other hand, Lewis Hamilton scored 2 pole positions in the first 2 races, and in any of these races was able to finish first place. So he lost the pole in both races. This time finished third, and in both races, Lewis has to recover a lot of places. So at the end, I think, considering obviously the touch he had now here in this race that was critical, he was able to overcome this problem and to finish third. And also in Australia lost a lot of places. So for the moment, we can see that Lewis Hamilton, even starting on pole and being the fastest on Saturdays, the bad race start is cost him a lot of points. But also having a lot of difficulties, Lewis is being able to recover places. Obviously, he has a really good car to do it. That's true, but you have to do it. It's not the same. It's just not theory. You have to recover places on track, and let's say that Lewis Hamilton is saving the days. Considering all troubles he's having, 17 points behind, a lot of races to go. But and by the other hand, Rosberg is doing everything perfect, except that he's not starting on pole. Anyway, let's continue watching.
Good job from everybody, and very happy.
What's the secret of this start then? Is it repeatable?
Well, we're working on it a lot, for sure. So hopefully we're making progress, but still early days, and we need to keep on it.
So yeah, basically here he's admitting that he's working a lot if the race starts. And for example, in this race, the race start was the thing because he won that race, because he passed Lewis at the start. Probably if he will not be able to pass Lewis at the start, Lewis will not have that problem with the Williams that touch him in the rear. So here Nico Rosberg is saying that he's working a lot in the race starts, and that's another point. A driver has to work. It's not just driving, So it's interesting to listen these words from Nico.
Cracking lead in the World Championship, though.
I haven't seen it, but I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, points-wise, I'm pleased with getting so many points in the beginning. It's good start.
Yeah, he's admitting. Obviously, he's happy he's leading the championship, but he knows at that point that is not how he starts. It's how he ends. For example, in 2014, in the first Silver War documentary, we saw that Rosberg starts winning in Australia, and Lewis was retired from an engine issue. And at the end, he was not able to win at the end in Abu Dhabi. So he knows there is a long way to go. And Lewis Hamilton will fight until the very end. He is now really sure of that. That's his face, actually.
How much damage was there to the car? How much did that affect you?
I don't really know. I mean, there's some side of the car was damaged, the floor was damaged, and so the car was sliding around quite a bit. But I did the best job I could with what I had.
So I confirmed that he had damage in the floor. But anyway, he did an incredible recovery considering the damage he had. So he was driving the fastest car, but damaged car. So for me, this recovery of Lewis, it have more merit, more credits than others.
From that point on, it was a case of damage limitation, I guess, for you.
Yeah, I was just trying to recover from that. I'm just glad, as I said, that I could keep going and that it wasn't so bad that I couldn't fight the guys and I was falling back or staying in the same position I was in. So at least I got to race a little bit, and that was fun.
Yeah, exactly. It was lucky because it could be much worse. So at the end, 15 points more for Lewis, so still behind Nico, but not by much. Move on to China, that is round 3. Let's see if finally Lewis can win and to try to close the gap with Nico Rosberg. Qualifying. Is this qualifying?
Of Q1 for the first time since Hungary in
Eliminated in Q1, Lewis Hamilton.
2014.
I'm sure the guys are just as gutted as I am, but we win and we lose together, so it's really a case of trying to figure out the issue and make sure that it doesn't happen again to other cars.
With an engine issue. Unbelievable. So, more difficulties for Lewis. This time, eliminated in Q1, so he will start at the back of the grid. So you can see how it's starting the season for Lewis Hamilton in 2016. Absolutely terrible.
Do you think more running this morning, it would have been discovered earlier and given you more of a chance, do you think? Don't know.
I have no idea.
Hungary, you started from the pits in 2014, you finished on the podium.
Yeah, we saw that race in the Watchalong 2014 Hungarian Grand Prix. Do you remember that race? Starting from the pit, Lewis, raining, a lot of things happened, and he did a good recovery. And the reporter is saying to Lewis that to try to motivate him, I think.
Does that give you a little bit of inspiration around here? You can overtake on this track?
You can overtake here. Tires don't last as well, so it's going to be it's perhaps not as simple as it was in that race. But of course, I'll give it everything I've got to try and get up. It isn't over until it's over. So.
Well, Luis is happy, he's motivated, but he has a massive challenge now. Recovering as much place as possible from the back. Let's see if he's able to do it. And meanwhile, Nico Rosberg will start on pole position in this race, finally. So, more good news for Nico. But let's see how he finishes this race. Here we go. It's Luis, concentrated, focus. Nico the same. Nico starts on pole, obviously. And Luis at the back.
Just want you guys also to know I'm grateful for all the hard work. Get the car up together. Thank you.
Well, Luis now say thank you to the team for putting back the car, for fixing the issues he had in qualifying. Let's see if the car is working properly now in the race. Starting 22, last of the grid, so he had a massive task, massive challenge ahead. Recover 21 places.
And it's lights.
Let's go.
And away we go. Good start.
Ooh, Red Bull, look at the Red Bull.
And also from Sebastian Vettel.
Ah, lost the lead, Nico. Lost the lead, Nico, with the Red Bull.
Fiat slips in on the inside. The two Ferraris have crashed.
Wow. It's Luis. Ow! Again. Damage. There. Wow. Unbelievable. Another difficulty for Lewis Hamilton. He crashed with some of the cars. I think it was a Sauber. I don't know.
Hamilton, we're on board now. The front wing caught underneath the
And it has the front wing behind the floor. That is damaged the car probably.
car, as you can see.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I lost my way.
Okay, copy that, Lewis. We're ready for you. In case the front wing's under your car, so just...
Wow. It's not been lucky, Lewis, in this season. Definitely. It's not starting in the best way. And this time, I don't know if it was his fault, to be honest. He just crashed into... Normally, it can happen when you start so at the back. That's the difficulties. Very easy to have a crash, to contact with someone. So that's a problem to start at the back. Well, we have someone... we have a Rosberg fan here in the chat, I think. So, damage. Let's see if I can recover from that. And Nico is second, but he's passing the Red Bull with a punch. Ricciardo with
He's got a puncture.
Ricciardo punch. I was unlucky as well. I think it touched. I don't know why. Probably passed through a debris or something. But in lap 1, it was leading. I don't know what it touched to have a punch. It's really strange. Nico was lucky there, for example.
Martin, you're right. The
Safety car. That can help Lewis. That can help Lewis to catch the back. And Nico still first, obviously, now. And Lewis, I don't know where is Lewis now. Probably will be last. Wow, look at that. It's P18. Now he's passing 2 more. At least it's passing cars. That means the car is working. That was Jane Wolf. Now is the... how is this name? I don't remember. The team principal of Williams at that time was technical director or something like that. Nico will never win if Luis didn't have issues. Luis is just a bit better. That's a big question. Obviously, Luis is still recovering places, but he started very bad the season. Now passing another car. Had a Red Bull. Now it's Max Verstappen probably. The other, maybe it's Ricciardo.
Smoking brakes there on the front of the.
Nico Pitts still win. Now it's 6. Lewis 6th place now.
There goes Lewis Hamilton down the inside on Valtteri. See cars being overtaken there at turn 9.
Oh, that was tough. Bottas was defending really well there. P5. Now passing Massa, the other Williams. Let's see if I can do it. Oh no.
Just give it everything you got, mate.
I am.
It's Raikkonen trying to pass in Lewis. And he will lose the place. P7.
Nico Rosberg has made it 3 wins out of 3.
Wow, 3 of 3 for Nico.
And 16.
Really spectacular.
What a start of the season.
Sorry we let you down with the equipment this weekend.
Thanks, Paddy. My apologies, guys. I tried everything I could to get back up.
Yeah, sadly, good job. At the end, Lewis finished P7 with that damage in the car. From the back, it's a good result considering he was starting 7 and that, with that problem in the front wing. What a start for Lewis. And by the other hand, what a start for Nico. 3 of 3, guys. Can be this the year of Nico. And look at the difference after 3 races. It's 36 points advantage. Nico Rosberg over Lewis Hamilton in just 3 races. Obviously, seeing that, as someone is wrote in the chat actually that Nico will not win this this season if Lewis will not have the problems. Obviously, seeing this, you can say that. But let's watch the whole season. But obviously, the start of the season is affecting to Lewis. It's affecting to Lewis, definitely. Move on, next round. Can finally Lewis win a race? Can finally be in front? Can be in front? Can complete a clean weekend? Let's see.
Lewis will not be taking part in Q3. His power unit has suffered the same failure as in Shanghai. It occurred on the outlap of the second run in Q2.
It's unbelievable. It's incredible. It's incredible. Wow, how much difficulties Lewis had in this season at the beginning. And also the blow engine later on. Yeah, we have to talk about it. I think you are talking about Malaysia, but anyway, let's wait. Again, a problem in qualifying. In Q3 this time, so I think it will be at least P10. I think it was
second engine from that I took last year, the last race. Same failure as I had in the last race. So.
Wow, Lewis is super disappointed now. Now we see in the faces is really sad and frustrated. Obviously, it's normal.
So this unit obviously has got a problem with it. Did you know
yeah, Malaysia. Okay. We are talking about the same then.
anything about it before today? Were the team worried about it before today at all?
No, just went back out in Q2 at the end to just get a feeler lap, and I lost the same power as I lost in China.
The same failure than in China. This time, fortunately, was Q3, so that means at least if the car is okay, will be start 10th probably. But again, what is happening to the Mercedes engines of Lewis Hamilton this season?
So a new power unit's got to be put in for tomorrow. You'll take a penalty, I guess, for that and start quite a way back in this grid. This season is really, really pushing you, isn't it, in terms of making you work hard?
Definitely.
You don't want to talk anymore. He probably wants to skip all these interviews and think about tomorrow. It's super frustrated, Lewis, here.
How do you cope with this? How do you deal with this? Because you're taking it very well at the moment. You seem very chilled about it.
There's nothing I can do.
You can do.
It's destroyed, absolutely destroyed here, guys. It's sad to see that. I don't like to see that. Obviously, in a driver to see a driver like this one in that moment. But I had to fight. He's a fighter.
But you're still in the fight for this championship. You're not going to give up.
I never give up. So.
Exactly. I never give up. That's the mood. That's why Lewis is so good. He never gives up. So I'm sure he will keep fighting. So move on. Let's see what can do Lewis in Russia in this race, and if Nico wins again. Sochi. Being honest, I don't miss too much this track, I have to say. It's not one of my favorite, a bit boring. But anyway, let's watch this race. Nico and Paul, can he win 4 races of 4? It would be incredible. And Luis starting P10.
And it's lights out and away we go.
Let's go. Good race start.
So it's Rosberg in the lead.
Rosberg leads, and obviously Lewis behind a lot of cars.
Take second place in this.
Wow, crash there. Lewis has to took the road escape. Wow.
There's a spin. There is a spinning Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel.
Why? I remember that. That was touched by Kvyat here. He was super angry in this. We will watch the Vettel second year in red documentary, and this moment is incredible.
And Nico Hulkenberg, who was out at turn 1.
And Nico, okay. So, safety car, Nico leads, and Hamilton it's in.
Hamilton's having a move on Massa. Bottas goes down the inside on Raikkonen. Hamilton
passing Massa for P4. Wow, great recovery. Now it's Raikkonen in front, and Bottas. Is there?
Gonna make a move as well. Hamilton
By the inside.
down the inside he goes. Raikkonen allows the
Wow, great move.
Hamilton to come past.
Well, now it's in podium places.
Get in there, Lewis. Come on, man.
Good recovery again. Hamilton pitting, P7 obviously. Have to recover places now when the other driver pits.
Down the inside on Valtteri Bottas.
Good move as well.
The move very comfortably indeed.
P6 now. Probably P2 when the other drivers pit. So virtually I think it's P2 now. Passing out McLaren Honda here. Raikkonen pits.
It is going to be close, and that overtake of Hamilton on Bottas has now allowed Raikkonen a crucial move.
Okay, and Lewis obviously still ahead of Raikkonen and Bottas. So it's P2 at Lewis actually.
Mercedes crew waiting.
Nico's still leading.
So, Lewis, it looks like we have a water pressure issue.
No! Another failure in the Lewis Hamilton car.
The situation has stabilised.
Oh, oof. Fortunately, nothing happened, but again, no, please, no more failures. What is happening to Lewis?
It's Nico Rosberg.
And Nico wins 4 of 4. What a season! What a start of the season for Nico Rosberg. It's unbelievable. Obviously, help that Lewis Hamilton was misfortune, was really unlucky in some occasions, but anyway, Nico 4 of 4.
His magnificent.
Excellent drive, Nico. Well done. We've finally done it in Russia.
Awesome weekend.
Yeah, top job, Nico.
Thanks, everybody.
Nico is doing everything perfect. Just obviously has the fastest car, but he's not making mistakes. He's been consistent, and he's been lucky. So that's why he's winning everything. And remember that he came back from last season in 2015. He won the final three races of the season. So if we put together the final 3 races of the 2015 and the first 4 now, the last 7 races were won by Nico Rosberg. So the momentum was having here Nico was incredible. And look at the difference now. Now it's 43 points. Almost 2 races advantage in just 4 rounds. So obviously Lewis has to do something about it. If not, he will lose the championship very early. And by the way, I explained this a couple of times, but in 2016, when we were at this point of the championship, the first 4 races, this was the moment when I decided to make this documentary, the Silver War F1 2016. I decided to do it in this moment, when Lewis was so far behind from Nico. I had a feeling of I'm sure Lewis will come back, and we will have an amazing championship battle until the end. And I have that feeling. So I said, this year I have to do a documentary about this rivalry. I don't know why, but I had the feeling, and I think I was not wrong. So yeah, that's the story. Wow. Anyway, unbelievable, Nico. Great job, and great recovery by Lewis again.
Feeling good in the car and 43 points ahead in the championship. Can you take that confidence with you to a straight fight on track with Lewis? Because you haven't been able to have that yet this season. If you had a straight fight, the way you're feeling at the moment, you must feel confident that you come out on top of that as well.
Well, straight fight to Lewis is what I'm here for. That's the best in racing, because he's the benchmark in the end. And I look forward to it when it happens again. And other than that, of course, it's always going to be a tough battle against him. Because just as before, he's still as motivated and as quick as ever. So maybe we'll be seeing it already in Barcelona.
I'm not sure if he's telling the truth. I mean, when you are trying to fight for a championship, okay, you love racing, you love fighting with your teammate, but looking back the other previous 2 years, the amount of times they crash, I think that's my theory. Yes, my theory, but I think Nico Rosberg is saying that he wants a street fight with Lewis, but I think on his mind is not. He don't want that. He's thinking, I expect it to be like this the whole season. We have fighting with him on track, in that way will be for me much easier to win the championship finally. So yeah, race 5. Yeah, I think you know what will happen.
Do you get the same sense of achievement without it?
This question is a bit weird, you know? It's like the reporter is trying to say that his victories and victories of Nico have not the same value because Lewis Hamilton is having difficulties. It's like, you know, it's a question that is a bit tricky to respond.
Well, I can't say I miss it really, because I mean it's awesome to win, you know. And
exactly, it's also to win. You know, racing is part of racing. You can win from many different ways, but if your rival is failing or is being unlucky, it's not your responsibility. You are doing your job, that is winning. So I think if you win, even be lucky, at the end of the day you are winning as well. So
I want to win races, and in the end it doesn't really matter how. You know, winning is just great. That's what I'm here for.
Exactly.
But of course, the ecstatic feeling isn't there. It's there when I win a battle against Lewis. You know, that's what really gets the ultimate thrill. So of course that's just an extra.
A very good response from Nico here. He did a really good response. Well, next round, Spain. Qualifying. Can Lewis have a clean weekend finally after 4 terrible weekends? Let's see if he can get pole. At least.
Battle for pole position. Rosberg has it at the moment. Hamilton was on pole in 2014. Hamilton crosses the line. He's on pole in 2016. Now comes Nico Rosberg, and it's Hamilton who's taken it ahead of Rosberg,
perfect.
championship leader.
Well, Hamilton is back onto the top in qualifying after 2 qualifying sessions with engine issues. This time, again, starting on pole. Let's see if finally Lewis can maintain the pole position and to win this race.
Very, very happy with getting the lap. Obviously, Nico's been very strong all weekend, so it was crucial that, you know, bit by bit, stepping stone, one step at a time, I've been really trying to bring the pace together. And but firstly, I really want to say a big thank you to the team, all the guys back at the factory, for working so hard over the last 2 weeks to really try to rectify the issues that we've had. And you know, this is it's 3 out of 3 for me.
Exactly, because in theory, it's 3 of 3 pole position for Lewis, because in the other 2 qualifying sessions, he was not able even to fight for the pole with the engine issues he had. So in the 3 qualifying session, he had no problems with the car, it was on pole. So that's another way to see the performance of Lewis this season.
I'm pretty happy.
And also it's a message for Nico that, like, in qualifying I'm beating you.
Happy. Obviously didn't get to compete in the last 2 qualifying sessions, so very, very happy with it and very grateful as well. And the car was great. Yesterday was a bit of a difficult day, so to be able to start on the right foot today is a real blessing.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.
And Ricciardo there.
Coming to you, Nico, you had the strongest first run in Q3, but are you a little bit disappointed with the outcome at the end of qualifying, or are you taking a view at the long game here?
No, for sure I'm disappointed to be second, yeah. Wanted to be first today, of course. But yeah, Lewis was just quicker in qualifying today, and that's it. Fortunately, it's the race that counts, you know, so there's still a couple of opportunities tomorrow for sure. At
the start,
for example.
Sadly, like happening in Australia and Bahrain.
And then strategy-wise, you know, it's not going to be an easy race tomorrow, so try and take my chances there.
Well, Nico is confident because he did it before. He did it in Australia, he did it in Bahrain, starting in second, and in the race start, having a much better launch and passing Lewis. Let's see if he can do it again. And Lewis, let's see if finally can defend a pole position this season. Here we go.
And it's lights out.
Let's see. By the way, this is the first race with Verstappen in Red Bull Racing. That was the first race where we have the switch of Max Verstappen from Toro Rosso to Red Bull Racing. So from now you will see Max as a Red Bull Racing driver. Here we go, race start. Okay. Oh, Nico, very good. He will pass him again.
Round the outside goes Nico.
By the outside.
Ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
Wow, what a great move by Nico. Again, Lewis lost the pole position. Unbelievable. What is happening also in the race start with Lewis this season? He's losing the pole position every time. I don't know if it's him, if it's the car, but it's really weird as well. And by the other hand, Rosberg is having an amazing race starts. I had to fight with... Oh, it's close.
3 we go, and it's Nico Rosberg.
Ay, ay, ay. Whoa.
And Hamilton's had a massive crash, and it's
No.
the two Mercedes come together. As Hamilton covers his hands over his eyes.
That's the image of the. I mean, Lewis Hamilton 2016. I will pick this image, this one, to resume the season of Lewis. Crash with his hands, like he don't want to watch to see what is happening. We can describe the start of the season of Lewis at least like with this image. It's unbelievable. Crash, both Mercedes out in lap 1. And it's the Silver War, guys. Pure Silver War. Oof, throwing out the steering wheel. Lewis is really angry here.
Huge apology to all of our team.
I'm well aware of all the hard work that you've put into this these two cars.
Wow, I love this footage. It's one of my favorite piece of footage of the whole documentary. This moment that Rosberg is going back through you know, and is passing in front of Lewis, and they don't want to see each other. It's like the tension is there. From here on, the war started. Yeah, 2016 was that is the peak, but from now it's like intensity. It's much higher. Look at Nico. Well, Lewis tried to look, but it's with the visor we cannot see his eyes, but it's really, for me, this footage, this moment is really tense moment. I think also it's tension. I really love this moment. They both cross ways after that crash, and you can feel the tension there. They don't see anything about him and each other. They just going back. Now Toto Wolff obviously discussing with the, you know, all the stuff about what happened.
Just let the team know that I'll do everything I can to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Obviously, both cars destroyed, race over. And this is a team discussion they will have. Nico, Lewis, the whole team in the track. They have to discuss what happened, to analyze the accident, why it happened. You know, as you can see, both are entering in the track in this. I don't know what is that. This hospitality, you know, or I don't know what is the right name. But basically, they have to discuss what's happened as a team before to go to the interviews.
Went for the.
Okay, let's analyze that, because not everyone knows this documentary or this episode, and let's explain what happened. Basically, was a mistake, but not by Rosberg only. Rosberg had not the right engine mode here. If you watch previously the accident, when Lewis was just behind Nico, you can see his red backlight of the Nico Rosberg car was flashing. That means it was not deploying energy at that point. It was losing a lot of horses or a lot of power, you know, in that moment. So that's why Lewis Hamilton was able to close so much at this point, because the car of Rosberg was not in the right mode. It was not deploying the energy necessary. That's why. And now Rosberg realized of it, see Hamilton behind, and in that moment it tried to defend the inside as much as possible, but it's at the same time Lewis trying to pass by that place. So we will see now.
Usual racing driver action of.
He closed the line too late, probably, and Hamilton had not time enough to correct the trajectory of the car, and he touched the grass.
Closing the inside line and closing the door.
I got my wheel and my wing alongside, but I had to avoid collision. And he had a D-rate. Basically, made a mistake and started in the wrong engine settings.
My mode was definitely in the incorrect mode, yes.
Exactly, that's what both drivers are saying. Nico Rosberg car was in the incorrect mode. That was what produced the accident, or what forced to all drivers to be in that situation. But I think, in my opinion anyway, apart from that mistake or that wrong engine setting, it's true that for me Nico closed the door very late in that moment. If I had to judge the accident, you know, But anyway, have an issue as well. So
we saw some on board with Anthony Davidson, and he saw that Nico was maybe distracted by changing that setting, so saw you too late. So do you lay any blame anywhere?
I'm not going to get into it.
Well, Luis, don't want to say too much about it, I think, to don't spread too much polemic, I think, but not sure if Luis is thinking that Nico did purposely. I don't know, because we don't know, but obviously the tension there was really high, so who knows.
Lewis's move, he said there was more room on the right, so he went for it because he was in the correct mode and had the power. You think you lay the blame at his door, basically?
I didn't say that.
Because I don't say that. What are you saying? And obviously the tension was on the peak here. From now, this is the Silver War, and as I said, I tell you before that I decided to start to make the documentary in the previous round when Nico was leading over 43 points over Lewis Hamilton, and this was the first race after to take the decision of making the documentary. And you can imagine me watching that accident in live in TV. When I was starting to edit in the documentary the previous week, it's like, man, I have to do it right now. I have to make it. You know, it's like, this episode is probably the most important of the documentary, and it's just race 5. So at that moment, I had really clear that this documentary will be really good because, you know, you see now they both crossing each other, tension on high. You know, it's bad. Okay, so the situation in the championship is the same. Any driver score points. So basically, Rosberg still with 100 points and Lewis with 57. So the gap is still being 43, but one race less in the calendar. So move on to the next one, that is Monaco. But first, I think there is a press interview conference with Nico Rosberg before the Grand Prix. If I
become absolutely clear that you...
Yes, about what happened in Spain. Let's listen, Nico. Let's listen, because now this press conference was very hard for Nico. He received a lot of questions about the incident with Luis in Spain, and you will see in his face now the tension, polemic. You know, it's in a very difficult situation, and very difficult internal situation as well.
Made a mistake by not putting the switch into the right, the strut 3 setting. So why you were not in the right engine mode?
Yeah. So the switch was in the wrong position. It's my job to put it in the right position. That's it. Pretty simple. Not much more to say with that. And in terms of formation lap and start, it's the same as always. You know, of course, you need to think about what you're doing, and there's a lot going on, and that's it. So you need to come up with ways of making sure that everything is done properly. That's it.
Sport question to Nico. Nico, if you was the team principal of Mercedes, what would you tell your both drivers after the incident in Barcelona before the Monaco race?
What a question! What a weird question as well. Most of the questions of this press conference were all for Nico, obviously, because of all what happened, and let's see what he responds to that, because.
Well, you know, what am I going to answer that? I mean, I'm not the team principal, you know.
Exactly.
So that's not my job to even think about that. I have enough to think about myself to try and win this race, with all the respect. So I don't know what I should answer to that.
Exactly. This is how you can respond that. I mean, what kind of response can you put on that? The banter gets me every time. You did such a good job with these interviews. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I try to put it as informative, you know. I try to clarify as much as possible. And also, you see, I love this moment because you see how the drivers, it's not just on track, you know. It's the tension they have to cope with during the whole season. It's not just battles on track. It's to fight against these questions. You know, you have to justify everything you do, why you do, what can you do differently. It's crazy the pressure this driver has to face on, and I wanted to reflect that also in the documentary. So let's keep watching.
Have you A, spoken to Lewis since the race to discuss the events of Spain, and B, when you get out to race this week, will there be from you an obligation to race absolutely full out.
Nico Rosberg's face is like, what is the question?
Not giving Lewis an inch, and if you need to shut the door on Lewis again, that you would do that.
Difficult, journalist is asking really difficult questions and very weird questions. So let's see what he can respond.
So if we've spoken or not, as always, that needs to be kept internally.
Good, interesting, good response there.
What I can say is that between the two of us, it's a thing of the past now. We're moving on, just with everything, and the relationship is the same as before, and nothing's changed.
Well, you race obviously full out. Yeah, it's like they are racing drivers, It's like they have to drive like always, like full attack.
Now going out on track, I'm not going to be thinking about Barcelona. I'm going to take the same approach as always, flat out, and do what's necessary to try and win this Grand Prix, which is what I've come here to do.
Exactly, that's a mission, simple.
A question for Nico, please. Nico, what's the big secret about whether you and Lewis have even talked? I could understand data being secret or car settings or engine changes, but the fact that you guys have just talked, that's just open information, isn't it?
Nico wants to get out of there right now. It's like, please don't ask me anything more about it.
Because, of course, I try and give you as much information as I can, because you're writing for all of our supporters out there to have a good time and read some cool stuff, But there comes a point where, at the same time, we're trying to keep a good spirit in the team and win lots of races, So there's a balance, and some things are just better not to share. I didn't say it was a no comment. I just said it's better to keep it internal, that part. And then I tried to elaborate on everything else.
It's unbelievable, the pressure, the question he has to face on, how journalists are trying to, I don't know, they are trying to find some kind of gap or something broken in his words to try to spice up things. That's my feeling. And I think Nico, the good thing here is Nico had a lot of experience at this point after 3 years fighting with Lewis. He had a lot of experience to manage this situation, and he knows exactly where he has to respond. He knows as well the intentions of these journalists sometimes. So I think he did a good job here as well. Not only on track. I think the way he managed these situations in this season in 2016 was really good, really, really good. Yeah, exactly. I think the same. I think one of the things, because I made these documentaries as well, is to try to put or to show people that is not so close to F1 and they only watch races or they just watch highlights, that is not just about racing. These moments, this driver has to be in interviews a lot of times after every race, every session. Before every Grand Prix, they have to respond thousands of questions every year, and sometimes they have to fight with these questions that are a bit intentionally trying to put more pressure. So it has to be really difficult. We are not there. We are not drivers as they are, but from an external point of view, as we are now seeing, it has to be really difficult. So they are heroes in some way, or gladiators as well. Not only because they do on track, also because more things like, keeping or coping the pressure outside of the track. So let's move on. Let's go for the racing. Monaco. Qualifying.
Guys.
Again.
Something's wrong with the engine.
Again. Lewis Hamilton, another engine failure.
Lewis Hamilton, you can see, pulling over to one side in the pit lane.
Let's be honest. I don't know if some of you think that this is starting to be intentional or not, because there are theories in this season that Lewis Hamilton engines were being sabotaged by the team. Obviously, anyone knows, but rumors or some theories said that Lewis Hamilton was being sabotaged by part of his team, because it's really strange the amount of failures Lewis Hamilton had in the first 6 races. 3 qualifying sessions, 3 of them with engine failures, and the other car was zero failures, you know. But as I said, this is a rumor, theories. A lot of people said. I don't know if some of you believe on that. That is difficult to believe because which team is interested in to sabotage their own cars? Difficult to think about it, but you know, at this point, and still nowadays, people that is thinking that the Lewis Hamilton engines were sabotaged. There are so many skills outside of racing that all of them need to employ it off track. Being a driver is no joke. Yeah, exactly. I am absolutely right. I am absolutely with you. Sadly, that's a part that some people don't see, you know, or it's not very interested on it. But it's not only about to be fast on track. There are more things also in being drivers, as we are seeing now in this documentary. So let's see what can do Lewis.
We properly get going in Q3. Lewis Hamilton looks like he properly can't get going at the moment.
At least it's happening in Q3.
This is properly committed from Daniel Ricciardo, it really is. He said he was pumped up, he was going all out for pole, and this will be provisional pole of a 1:6.
Daniel in Monaco was so fast always. Daniel Ricciardo in Monaco probably was the fastest in this era. He was so good in this track.
2-2, incredible. Can Sebastian Vettel beat that though? His former teammate, no, he
Vettel
can't. He goes
second.
Hamilton on pole last.
Oh, Hamilton at least he fixed the issue and he can continue in qualifying.
Suffered a loss of power at the start of Q3. It seemed that his qualifying woes had come back to haunt him. Can he put his Mercedes on provisional pole once again? No. Time through the final sector. Hamilton only third.
Hamilton third.
Nico Rosberg now, winner of the last 3 Monaco Grand Prix. Can he go faster than Daniel Ricciardo? No, he can't.
No. Pole position for Daniel Ricciardo again.
Keeps up his run of front row appearances.
So Nico second, Lewis third, Ricciardo on pole.
Another little reliability issue. How do you think you could have made a bigger challenge for pole if you'd got that second run in?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter what I think now. It's done and dusted. I'm starting third tomorrow, so I'll do what I can from there. But yeah.
Exactly. It's true that Lewis here with that failure in Q3 lost one attempt. He only had 1 lap to be on pole, not like Ricciardo or Rosberg that they had 2 chances. That made that Lewis was not starting on pole. Who knows? Anyone knows. We cannot create that fake scenario because it never happened. But obviously, to have only 1 chance instead of 2 makes difficult to be on pole. That's obvious. So yeah, at least as I said, this time the failure he had in the car was not too much, and he was able to finish third. Because if he will be like in Russia 10th, starting 10th, or at the back of the grid here in Monaco, it will be terrible. Here is impossible to pass. So at least yes, it's in P3, but still losing points with Nico. So he needs to find something in this race to win and to beat Nico and to try to close the gap in the championship. So he, and it's raining. Wow, Monaco on rain. That this race can, you know, be developed in many ways now. Nico starting second, Lewis third, as we saw.
So it's the first.
Let's see, maybe there is a chance for Lewis now.
Time ever that we've had a safety car start here in Monaco.
Oh, interesting. Wow, no visibility, at least on this camera.
There is. The spray is better now. Let's get going.
And Lewis wants to racing right now. Obviously, is the most interested. He wants to beat Nico.
The safety car.
Probably Nico, if he can finish in this situation under safety car, he will say, "Okay, I take it. I'm in front of Lewis."
Is in this lap.
And let's see if Ricciardo can win and maintain the Mercedes behind. Here you go. It's Lewis. Oi, that was close.
Jolyon Palmer crashes out of his first Monaco Grand Prix.
Jolyon Palmer out. Now Jolyon Palmer is part of the F1 TV staff or something like that, no? And in this era I was racing in Renault. It did not last too much. I think it was fired in the middle of the 2017 season or something like that, I think. Oh, it's Lewis putting a lot of pressure in Nico in these conditions, in wet conditions. But it's very difficult to pass here.
There's Romain Grosjean. It's Kimi Räikkönen as well.
Another incident. Oh, and look at that. Lewis passed Nico, but that's something that I was not able to explain too much in the documentary. This is something I would like to explain a bit more. And I did not find interviews about that situation. But basically, for some reason, at this point, Nico Rosberg let pass Lewis Hamilton in this race at some point. Maybe because they decided that Lewis had much more pace to catch Ricciardo. I don't know. But the question is that Nico, in this race, let pass Lewis. That's interesting, considering they know that they are fighting for the championship. So I never understood this situation. And as I said in the documentary, I did not found interviews or situations where the drivers were explaining this moment. But at least we have to know that Nico let pass Lewis. Maybe I assume that it's because the team believed that Lewis had more pace to pass Ricciardo. I think that's my theory. So Daniel pits. And now it's Lewis that did not pit earlier.
Is Lewis pitting into the pits now?
Because I think what happened here is that Ricciardo did the switch from wet tires to inter tires. And Mercedes decided to switch directly from wet to slick and to save one stop. And now Lewis stops. So that means if the stop is good and the dry tires are now the right tires, maybe had a chance to fight to make the undercut to Ricciardo.
Lewis Hamilton, and it is ultra soft tires.
Ultra soft, okay, dry tires, and now time for Ricciardo.
The tires aren't ready.
No, what a mistake!
Ready. Super soft tires going on.
Wow, that was terrible as well for Daniel. I don't understand how it's possible Red Bull had not the tires prepared for this situation. It's thinking in Red Bull that they normally don't make this kind of mistakes. It's really weird to see such a big mistakes from Red Bull Racing, not being prepared. And this could cost him the win. Let's see.
Here comes the Mercedes of Lewis.
Oh, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close.
Ricciardo, of course, has that
Oh, he lost it.
Hamilton now leads.
That's the face. Christian Horner is saying, but what did we did? How is possible? They literally ruined themselves for the race victory. Probably Daniel is going full attack now to try to pass, but in Monaco, difficult. It's really close. Wow, it's really close. It's pushing like crazy, Daniel. Probably is really angry, so angry that he's saying now, I will go for it. I don't care at all. I will wait for Lewis. I want that win. But it's a bit wet, the track still. And he went wide, Lewis. Wow.
And now Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah. Wow, that was close, man. Almost crashed into the wall.
What's that?
Yeah, a bit aggressive, Lewis. It's true that he was in front, but on the limit there, huh? And this is Rosberg. That is P5. Wow. Oh, I got the chicane. He has to let pass Alonso in the McLaren. P6.
And it's Lewis Hamilton.
Finally.
For the first time in 26.
Finally, Lewis Hamilton win a race this season in round 6 in Monaco. Unbelievable. Finally. And in a race that probably watching or seeing how it started in P3 in Monaco, probably we all will say in Monaco, I don't think it will win, starting third. Very difficult. But that drained this situation with the tires. This time, Lewis was lucky. Finally. And Nico lost the place in the last lap, in the start finish line, in the last lap with Nico Hülkenberg. So it's P7 at the end, losing I think 2 points more against Lewis.
By 0.2 of a second.
So wow, at the end Lewis closed the gap now by P7 are 6 points, P1 25. So wow, he did a big leap now, Lewis, carrying 19 points in the championship. Has to be so happy after so difficulties he had, finally wins. Spraying the champagne on his car. I forgot to put the championship standings here, but basically the gap now is, I think it was 43 minus 19 is now 15, something like that. Well, anyway, next race, Canadian Grand Prix. This race always is really cool. Let's see what happened this year. And Lewis on pole. Lewis Hamilton starting on pole. Finally. Well, not finally. To be honest, it's the 4th pole of the season, I think, in 7 races.
And it's lights
Nico second.
out, and away we go.
Again, better start for Nico. Oh, I Vettel even better.
What a move going into turn 1.
Wow, like in Australia, Vettel was like a rocket in the start. Now he's bleeding. And both Mercedes wheel to wheel. Wow, they touch.
Rosberg gets pushed wide by Hamilton, and that's a really poor start.
Oh, they touch. Oh, and look at Nico. Wow, I lost P8 now. Oof. On the limit there, they touch. I think Lewis did not give too much room to Nico, but it's true that he was ahead. On the limit there, on the limit. First time since Spain they touch. This time, fortunately, they did not cross. Wow, even losing more places, Nico. It's not confidence on the car. Again, another one. It's not being confident right now. Now it's time, for the first time, Nico is the driver who has to recover places. Exactly the reverse situation that we saw with Lewis in the previous races. Now it's Nico, the driver has to do it. Let's see if he's able to do it so good as did Lewis in the first races to recover places from the back. Here we go, P9. McLaren Honda. Jenson Button in his last season in Formula 1 in the McLaren Honda. That's terrible. Like Aston Martin right now, by the way.
Oh, it's Sebastian Vettel, the race leader, is coming into the pits just as the virtual...
And look at that. Probably mistake by Ferrari. They used this virtual safety car to stop, but the problem was that the virtual safety car was not too much longer on track, so the advantage is not so big. Now Lewis is leading.
Safety car ends. Comes Nico Rosberg.
Nico pits.
Comes into the pits for the next.
Now he's second, but probably Vettel has to stop again, so probably Lewis will be first. Nico still recovering places. Again, now Vettel stops, and now the real leader is Lewis Hamilton.
You gotta give me more information because of all the stuff going on my steering wheel with the warnings and everything.
Warnings are real.
Yeah, that's very important. Listen this in radio because Nico is asking for more help from the pit wall. Remember that in this season in 2016, the FIA introduced new rules that limited a lot the technical conversations between the race engineers and drivers. FIA wanted to, let's say, let the driver take more decisions in his car about engine settings and everything, and to try to avoid a bit more the race engineer being involved in the drivability on the way the car has to be driven in terms of switches, and it's something that was not really successful because at the end, in some races later, I think FIA opened a bit the rules and engineers started again to have the right to give to the drivers more indications. But it's important to know that because something will happen in the next races. So, stay tuned about that. And basically, the communication between race engineers and drivers this season is more limited, imposed by FIA. That's why Nico was asking things, and the engineer only can say to him, warnings are real, okay, Nico, but I cannot give you instructions about what you have to change to avoid them, because it's not allowed, okay?
Okay, Nico, you've got a slow rear puncture. Box.
Wow, now it's been unlucky, Nico. Puncher. Fortunately, it was detected in the right way, in the right moment, to don't lose too much time. Still now it's P7. Passing, I think it's first. No, Ricciardo. Raikkonen. Wow.
He's having a go under braking Nico Rosberg. What a move!
Very good.
Championship leader.
Good braking. It's Verstappen. Verstappen is not so easy to pass. Oh, it's close. Can't. Again by the outside. Ah, he's defending really well. Ooh.
Rosberg makes a mistake. The championship leader makes a mistake. Can he keep the engine running?
Ooh, that was close. That was close. Fortunately, it did not crash. But as you can see now Verstappen in the Red Bull, how difficult it was to pass. Now, this is the first races of Max in Red Bull, and you can see that it was a very different driver in terms. It was a real champion at that time. It was not world champion at that time, but I think we can see now in these first races of Max in a competitive team that it was something else. You know, the Nico passed, for example, Ricciardo on the same car than Max and Raikkonen much easier. Had to take risks, but he did it. But with Max, you saw how difficult it was to pass him, and he couldn't. He had to lock up. Even he lock up before to do it, because Max is super difficult to pass.
His teammate Lewis Hamilton comes around the final.
Another win for Lewis.
5 Canadian Grand Prix victories as Hamilton wins.
Finally, things are going in the right direction for Lewis after the terrible start.
Awesome race, mate. Awesome race.
Flew like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That was from Mohammed. That was from Ali.
I think he said that. I think in this weekend, Muhammad Ali passed away. I'm not sure. I think he said that phrase because of him, because I think in that week or something like that, passed away. So yeah, and I think Lewis was a big fan of this legend. Boxing a bit.
The car felt fantastic. I think I got the setup just right with great work from the engineers and mechanics. And
so at the end, Lewis won, and Bottas was third and Vettel second.
Hey man, I won my first Grand Prix here in 2007, so this is just just feels such a blessing.
Exactly. First win of Lewis was in Canada. Wow, look at that. Now the difference is 9 points. 9 points. In 2 races, Lewis passed from being 43 points behind to be only 9. Fortunately, in 2 races, fixed almost the whole disadvantage if it was Nico was building over Lewis Hamilton in the first 4. So at the end, championship is getting tighter. That's all we want. Round 7 of 21, by the way. We're closing to the first half. So, yeah.
Talk us through the start and what happened through those first corners as well with the move from Lewis.
Well, Sebastian had a great start, and I had a decent one, and Lewis had a really bad one, and I was where my position was on the outside there, you know. And in Barcelona, I gave it a go around the outside of Lewis, and
it's true, they did a great pass in Barcelona.
Worked out really well. Went for the same again today, and he did a really hard.
They touch here. It's true that now Nico is ahead at this point, and Lewis did not give him too much room. No, that's true. But the problem is that the driver that has the inside here has advantage. Clearly has advantage.
Racing maneuver.
And he pushed wide to Nico. And Nico obviously he could cut the grass and to rejoin in that corner, but would be very dangerous. And I think it's not what racing notes said. Probably he has to cut off the roll escape and to rejoin at the exit of turn 2.
You know, and we touched, and
as he's doing right now.
And I was off, and that's it. So didn't work out. I was very pissed off in the moment, you know, and but that's racing in the end, and it's my job to make sure that I'm in front after a battle like that next time, you know.
Very good words by Nico. I think it's not blaming to Lewis for that. He's saying it's my job to next time to try to do better and to try to stay in front. So in that regard, Nico's not trying to add in more polemic. So that's okay for me.
And that's it. So of course that was very costly for me because I lost a lot of places. And from then, yeah, uphill battle. You know, trying to fight back. Difficult, just especially with fuel. I nearly ran out of fuel, and so that's why I couldn't really attack Max properly at the end. He did a very good job as well to defend when I was attacking.
How it breaks so late, Max, to try to avoid Nico passing by the outside.
He did really well, but then I had to drop back, save fuel again, try again, drop back, and then in the end.
And he did not touch the grass. Basically, he spun because he locked the rears, I think. Probably he brake more than allowed the car in that point, I think. I'm not driver, but it's my feeling. And he locked up the rear.
It went completely pear-shaped, and
fortunately he had not a barrier there, because if not, he will crash and it will be a 0 for Nico in this race. So Nico in that regard was lucky as well. He finished P5.
Spun round or whatever, but managed to carry it home still. But frustrating race, of course.
Anyway, now Nico knows that the championship, all the gap that he built in the first races, is almost disappeared. So he has to keep fighting. But for now, the situation is different. Now both drivers almost depends on themselves to be leading. So the next race, I think, is Austria. Both Nico and Luis will go there. Knows that the championship leading is on play. And that makes things more tense for both drivers. You can see in the Nico Rosberg's face. Oh no, sorry, next race is Baku, Azerbaijan. It's not Austria, it's Baku. By the way, first race. That was the first race in Baku in the history. This one was a new race for the 2016 calendar. And this is qualifying. Let's see what happens.
Turning in to an absolute nightmare for Lewis Hamilton.
Again, I crashed.
I'm out of that session.
I think he crashed there.
He touched the wall, but he's damaged his car. And we haven't seen
in the castle.
We're going to see it now.
He touched the inside barrier and broke the suspension from right suspension.
It ends like this.
Look at that. Wow.
His teammate Nico Rosberg crosses the line and bags pole position by some margin.
Nico on pole, and I think the crash was in Q3. So fortunately for Luis, he will not start at the back, but obviously it's not nice.
So we watched an onboard of yours as you came up towards turn 10 there on that lap, and the sun was at a really awkward angle as well. Was that anything to do with those conditions or anything at all?
No, it was just me.
Very honest here, Luis. It's like the reporter is trying to put excuses. No, it was the sun that was reflecting in your vision, and that's why probably you don't saw too much the angle of the corner and you crash. And Luis said, no, it's my mistake, it's me. So very honest here, Luis.
Just wasn't in it, as I said. Just wasn't hitting the apexes, wasn't hitting the right braking zones, none of it was in the right place today.
Okay, let's have one quick question on the race tomorrow then. In terms of this track, there is a great toe you can get on that final straight. We know the speed you've got at the moment. What can you do? Can you still win this race tomorrow?
Highly doubt that I can win the race, but I'll do my best to try and gain as many points as I can.
Not very confident, Luis, here.
Nico's got a pretty easy run at the front. We've got more pace than most, I think. So as long as he gets a good start, he'll be gone into the distance. And my job's just trying to just get through the big tangle of guys I have in front of me.
It's true. Luis is admitting that he has no chances to beat Rosberg here because he shows more pace the whole weekend. That's something strange to see in Luis, especially in Baku. That was the first race here. Anyone knew how will be evolving the race the first time you are racing here? So it's not really motivated here, Luis. Not really confident of himself. Very strange. That's not very usual. Anyway, let's see what happened in the race. Here we go, Baku. First race. What a race. Definitely is normally is one of the most epic races of the season. We have legendary Grand Prix, like for example 2017. That was crazy. We'll have to watch it in my documentary in the future, Silver versus Red, Clash of Champions. That race was amazing. And another crazy races we saw 2021 as well, with a crash of Max Verstappen in the main straight. Interesting track. Very difficult. But when I'm playing in the F1 games, it's one of the tracks I have more difficulties to avoid crash. It's very difficult for me. So, Nico on pole position. Let's see if he can win again. Last time Nico won was in Russia. And Luis started in P10.
And it's lights out and away we go. Superstar from Daniel Ricciardo, but Nico Rosberg moves over to cover him up.
Looking up there, someone. And Nico started very well. Hamilton lose a place and gain another one, so still in P10 at the same time. in the moment. Here we go, long straight, P9. Wow, look at that, 3 cars.
And look at that.
Wow, look at massive vibrations the car had there.
Outside, Bottas on the inside.
Eesh.
3 of them going in, one by one. It's Bottas that comes out in front. And Verstappen now under pressure from Lewis Hamilton into turn 2.
Oh,
Goes down the inside.
this time Lewis passed Verstappen. And the Williams, that's P7. He's recovering places, he's doing good.
Hamilton in Mercedes there because 1 lap later he might have come out behind.
P9 after the pit stops. P7. But it had pace. It has pace. Now pit stop for Nico. Perfect. Here we go. Luis fighting with Perez and Ricciardo, I think, for P5.
And Perez on Ricciardo, easy peasy for the Mexican there.
Good braking.
Goes Hamilton.
Good move.
And on the inside, Hamilton manages to get past Daniel Ricciardo.
Good move there.
D-rates everywhere. I'm sure that's not helping.
Oh, again, more problems for Lewis Hamilton. D-rates. It's something similar to what happened to Nico in Spain. That this kind of D-rates that reduce the power of the car. And remember what I saw to you in Canada when I was explaining to you the rules between race engineers and drivers about the limitation in the radio communications, because now it will make sense. Because now Lewis Hamilton have a problem and he's trying to find solutions from the pit wall, but the problem is that the pit wall guys cannot share too much information to Lewis because it's not allowed. So you will see the amount of difficulties Lewis will have now in his radio communications to try to fix the problem.
Is there no solution for this?
He's asking for solutions. It's like, guys, I have a problem. You can help me. Help me, please.
We are working on it, Lewis.
You guys need to pick up the pace.
So he's talking about D.
Lewis is trying to say, come on, guys, hurry up. I need to recover more places. And I'm P5 or cars behind can catch me if you don't fix this issue.
Right, so he's not getting the kinetic energy, the MGUH or whatever, you know, that power that just ramps up the engine and the turbo. It's not working.
Can I not reset this thing?
So the problem appears to be with the current mode that you're in.
I don't know what you mean, man. I don't know what's wrong.
Now, Lewis has no idea what is wrong. What is the mode is wrong.
Yeah, copy that, Lewis. Hard to say what it is.
For the moment, the engineer has not a response as well. Probably they don't know exactly what it is.
This is ridiculous, guys. I don't know. Looking at my freaking dash every...
Look at the... Lewis Hamilton is touching buttons every time. He's trying to find the solution, and he's telling that in the radio. Like, I'm trying to change everything possible, but meanwhile I'm driving to at more than 300 kph per hour in the main straight, and it's crazy this to see this.
5 seconds. Trying to find...
No, Spanish.
Switched us in the wrong position. I haven't changed anything or done something any wrong, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, Lewis, it's nothing that you're doing wrong. You've just got a setting that's incorrect.
Exactly, it's in a setting that is incorrect.
In HVP.
It's asking for a possible solution, but look at the response of the engineer.
I can't say, Lewis.
Well, I might not finish this race because I'm gonna try to change everything.
We don't advise that.
It's like you cannot tell me what is wrong, so I will touch everything possible. And it's like the engineer is telling to Lewis, no, don't do that, please, Lewis. You can touch something that is not wrong and that is not right, and you can break the car. It's like don't do that. It's like Lewis is so frustrated because he cannot receive a solution because it's not allowed, and he's trying to put pressure on the team to say, okay, but I will touch everything in the car until I find the solution. So. Yeah, probably it has to be really frustrated to know that you are in the wrong mode, that the engineers know how to fix it, but they cannot tell you how to fix it because it's not allowed. It has to be really frustrating.
Lewis,
look at that. Lewis is saying like, okay, I know that you cannot tell me the solution because it's not allowed, but you can. I can make you a suggestion I can make your suggestion, like saying, for example, it's this button, the HVP that is set previously, and the engineer can respond yes or no. It's trying to reach a deal, Luis, in that regard, to find a way he can communicate with his team inside the rules, you know. But it's not, obviously this is not allowed.
No, that's not allowed. Let's just get heads down and focus on the job.
He's trying to do everything possible to fix the problem.
And it's Nico Rosberg back winning again. Yeehaw!
And Nico wins again, finally.
Excellent job, Nico.
Thanks a lot, guys. Awesome.
Rosberg wins.
And Luis finished 5th at the end. I don't remember, to be honest. I don't remember the problem, but probably something similar to what happened to Nico in Spain. Some kind of problem that was limiting the engine power. You know, the electrical part of the engine is not deploying enough energy. But I don't know what was exactly the problem was. Maybe. I don't know if in the documentary I think I did not find the response, but anyway, I think I had some interviews about it.
In Baku, the championship leader.
So now with this result, the championship gap is bigger again. It's now I'm very bad in numbers. 24 points. 24 points advantage, Nico. Almost a race.
His advantage.
Well done to Nico. At the end, won after 3 races.
Well, Lewis, another difficult day by the sounds of it out there. Just tell us everything that was going on with your car.
Let's see if Luis has a response to that question that you said.
I had an engine problem, so I'm not really sure what it was. But then all of a sudden, I think 9 or 8 laps to go, it fixed itself.
It fixed itself at the end. I don't remember that.
Suddenly I got power back. Basically, I was driving with. It felt like I was driving without the EOS pack. So.
Well, we heard on team radio that they were saying to you that you were in the wrong setting. Did you actually change anything when the car looked like it got quicker and you were posting fastest laps, about 8 laps to go?
As far as I'm aware, I was not in the wrong setting, and perhaps they started in the wrong setting, maybe, but I hadn't changed anything. So.
So it's like the car changed by itself the settings. Really strange.
I shall find out afterwards, but I mean, I was looking at my dashboard and my steering wheel, trying to figure out what I could have done wrong, and all my switches that I have control of, that I'm able to use, were all in the right place. So I can't imagine what it is, but basically I was driving without the EOS pack, so I had no boost for.
I lost like the boost of the engine, something like that. Yeah.
Or no curves, whatever it is, for pretty much the whole race.
We've had
Wow, anyway, has merit to finish a race in 5th place with all these problems.
to say that there was a switch setting that you both had to change on your cars. You managed to do it pretty quickly and not have too many problems with it. Lewis couldn't find it and had a lot of problems during the race with it. What was the switch setting, and was it something you've come across before?
No, so we both had a performance power issue, out there, and it was pretty clear at the time. But the problem is that with the radio clampdown, they can't tell us what it is exactly. They're just allowed to tell us that there is an issue in this mode. What mode? Who knows? But the problem, I knew what it was, and so I just took the most likely switch and I switched it off, and then it was working fine. So that was it.
Interesting. I forgot that Nico had the same problem in this race, and he was able to fix it because he knew the commands he had to touch in the steering wheel. I completely forgot that. Great move, or great thing that I put these interviews after the race in this documentary. I did a really good job there. Exactly. That's the thing. Nico suffered the same problem than Luis in the race. I put this footage because I think in this footage he was touching some switches. I don't know if it was the moment he was fixing the problem, but it was very representative. Anyway, the question is here that in this occasion, Nico Rosberg had advantage because he studied better the manual of the steering wheel, to say in some way. So he knew without being advised by his team, the switches he had to touch to fix the problem. So let's say that this time, in that regard, Nico studied better than Luis how his car works, to say in some way, and he was able to fix it, sadly.
How frustrating is it for drivers with this team radio ban that you can't seem to get a simple answer?
Exactly. Let's see what is the Lewis Hamilton opinion about that rules.
It was definitely awkward because there's nothing I spend a lot of the race just looking at my screen because there was so much different information, and then in the engine switch is 16 positions, and then in those is like 20 positions, and I don't know which one it is that's not been set right or not right, and there's nothing I can do. So,
well, you can do something to study better your steering wheel, but I'm agree with Luis that for me had no sense, these rules. It's true that this kind of radio bans did not last too much. I think they reinstalled the previous rules at the middle of the season or something like that, because it's no sense. This is a team sport. For me, engineers are part also of the sport, and if they can help to the drivers, they should, also for safety reasons. But anyway, apart from that, if we, in the context of these radio bans, Luis said that it had nothing to do with it, but I think it's not true. You can study all your buttons or commands or switches of your steering wheel in case you had a problem to fix it, as Nico Rosberg did, because for some reason Nico studied better, I don't know, but he was able to fix it. So in that regard, I not agree with Luis here, but as I said, these rules for me are useless or no sense rules, because as I said, imagine there is a car that is on fire or has a several engine issue, and the engineers cannot advise to the driver to stop the car, something before before something serious happened in the car, to start to got fire, something like that. So for me, these rules are a bit dangerous. But by the other hand, as I said, it's true that in that regard, Luis could do something more, knowing a bit better the steering wheel or the switches he has in the dashboard.
This is where the team, the FIA, Formula One make and FIA make it as technical as it is, and give us all these switches. We don't know what the guys back at the garage know. So, but it is what it is.
Do you study a lot?
Okay, it is what it is. Okay.
Lot in terms of what problems could be as a result of, because these radio rules are clamped down so much? Do you study it even more maybe now than before?
For sure, because it makes it all more challenging, and we're much more on our own out there, So I do put effort into that side. Whether it now helped in this specific case, not necessarily, but still, it's an area, it's a new challenge, which makes it different, and which causes these sort of difficulties, in a race. So from that sense, it's a good thing, I guess.
So you're happy with the rules at the moment?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Good job today. Well done.
Thank you.
So basically, Nico Rosberg, sadly, as he said, he studied more or better than Luis did in that regard, and he took advantage. Interesting how in this season, also to be a better student gives you more, better results, like in this race. It's ironically the things drivers has to do, not only drive fast, also study better than his teammate the steering wheel to take advantage on it, But for me, no sense at all. As I said, these rules are, for me, a bit awkward or silly. But it is what it is. The rules that they were under in this moment of the season, so you have to take it.
Frustrating run of luck that you've had in your Formula One career, because so many victories and more points have been taken out of your hands.
Exactly. This season has been, for Luis, terrible.
Well, I can't really remember. I don't remember much past the last couple of races, so definitely had better seasons, but there's still a long way to go, and I'm going to give it everything I can to keep battling and hope that there are less and less mistakes moving forwards.
Exactly, that's the mentality we love from Luis always, that's, many difficulties, many difficult situations, but probably one of the main features or best skills of Luis is that ability to keep pushing, never give up. Even now, actually in 2026, after the very, very 2025 season Lewis had, I'm sure he will come back stronger. He always find a way, and I'm sure he will find it again. That's why he's 7 times F1 world champion and statistically or in numbers the best driver of the Formula 1 history. It's not because of luck only.
Oh, he's gone off.
Whoa.
He's gone off. Nico Rosberg has brought out...
It's very practice 3, don't worry. It's not qualifying or race. It's practice 3, but Nico crashed.
The red flag and has had quite a major moment. Now, look at the rear left tyre.
Oh. Wow, it's broken like in the straight suddenly.
Is that suspension braking?
Yeah. Yeah. And so that would explain...
Well, probably maybe the curves, but it's really weird.
See, that's the puff of smoke I saw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whoa. Very strange accident. As I said, fortunately it was FP3. I don't remember why I put this accident in the documentary. Maybe also to show that Nico also had troubles during this season. Fortunately, it was practice, but he has some issues as well in his car, as Lewis. So move on to qualifying now.
Kimi Raikkonen behind Sebastian Vettel. It's Ferrari 1 and 2. Ricciardo third fastest. Hamilton's on pole. 1:07.9 for Lewis Hamilton. Pole here last year. Provisional pole at the moment. Can Nico Hülkenberg take that pole back? No. Front row though for Force India.
Well, front row for Nico in the Force India.
Nico Rosberg crosses the line, takes that front row, but Rosberg will drop
Hamilton pole.
5 places. Hulkenberg starts alongside Hamilton on the
pole for Lewis, and as Crofty said, Nico's qualifying P3, I think, but he has a penalty. I don't remember why. He had a grid penalty here.
Front row for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Nico, it was always going to be a tough day for you today anyway. One after the crash this morning, you've got this penalty.
After the crash, that's why I put the crash in FP3. But I don't remember why I put him in. Why I received the grid penalty because of the FP3 crash. I don't know, maybe for the changing a new gearbox, something like that. I don't know. But the truth is that crash in FP3 caused him to Nico some places in the grid.
The gearbox change, but
okay, gearbox change. That crash destroyed the gearbox of Nico, and if you change between, I think it's. I don't remember the rules at that season in 2016, but if you exceed certain number of gearboxes, probably you will receive a penalty. Probably Nico received a penalty for that.
Firstly, brilliant of the guys to get you out for qualifying, and you seem to nail it straight away and have the confidence back in the car immediately.
Yeah, it was really amazing teamwork, so I'm very thankful. Everybody, even Lewis's mechanics came on my car, to finish it off. And
wow, that's cool. All mechanics to try to fix the problem in the car.
So that was impressive and great to get out. And yeah, I felt good straight away, so I was able to put a great lap in straight away. And then exciting conditions, and Lewis just beat me to it in the end. He did a better job, and that's it. But tomorrow is going to be tough with the gearbox penalty. That's going to make it more difficult.
Lewis has shown, though, that Mercedes' power around here can get you up to the front. He got up to second from 9th a couple of years ago. So with that in mind, surely the win still is there for you tomorrow.
Well, come on, Lewis is starting from P1. It's not going to be that, yeah. I mean,
he started from P1 last year.
Yeah, but I was P2, not P7.
Big difference.
Anyways, I'll try. Let's see what I can do. It's going to be a difficult one, but yeah, with a bit of luck maybe.
Well, as happened with Lewis in the previous race, he's not really confident because his rival is starting on pole. And it was exactly the opposite in Azerbaijan when Nico started on pole and Lewis in P10 and was asking Lewis the same, that can you win tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And Lewis said, no, impossible. Nico's in P1, I'm P10. And now it's exactly the opposite. Like Rosberg is saying, no, Lewis is starting on pole and I'm P7, it's going to be impossible. So they have no faith into come back, even to catch his rival, because they know they have a very fast car. It's going to be very difficult. Because all the time you lose passing the cars you have in front first will give up to your rival a massive chance to pull a big gap, Anyway, everything to play. Let's see how it finishes this race. Austrian Grand Prix. Let's go. So, Lewis in pole.
And it's light.
Rosberg P7, I think.
It's out and away we go.
Let's go. P6.
Hamilton leads then into turn 1.
And Lewis leading. And Nico recovering places. This is something I hate to use, this camera from the front wing, because I remember when I was editing this part of the documentary, I had not more footage than this front wing camera. I don't know why the foam don't use the classic onboard camera in this moment of the Nico Rosberg car, and I only had this to show the overtakes Nico did, so we only can see some part of the car in front, but at least we can see something. P5. Another one. P4 for Nico Rosberg. This is a McLaren. I think it's a McLaren. You remember Jenson Button in the McLaren in this race started third, something like that. I don't know how, to be honest, with that terrible car. So P3 right now.
Assume Martin happy with the way his tyres are coping. Rosberg wants to get those softs on as quick as possible.
Rosberg pits first.
Soft compound tyres go. Hamilton, but it's a slower stop.
Slow stop.
So as Hamilton makes his way down the pit lane, Nico Rosberg has just flashed past up.
Nico passed Lewis. Because of the bad pit stop. Wow, again, mamma mia.
Here he goes. Nico Rosberg overtakes his teammate Lewis Hamilton after the first pit stops.
Wow. Probably a mistake from the team. Probably if it will be McLaren in 2025, Rosberg will be asked by radio to let Lewis let by, but this is not 2025 and this is not McLaren. So Rosberg now ahead of Hamilton because of that bad pit stop.
But that's Sebastian Vettel.
Ooh.
And something has happened to his right rear.
What's the race leader?
Collected at the manor. Sebastian Vettel, who was leading this race, crashing out.
I think I remember in this race, Vettel tried to go so long to try to only do one stop, but was too long and the tire blew up.
I went over the debris, so check the pressure.
Yeah, it has. Look at the flow. The Nico Rosberg car, it catch some kind of debris of the tire blow up of the Sebastian Vettel's car that is stuck in the flow. Maybe can affect to the performance of the car.
It's enough to significantly affect the aerodynamics.
So safety car now, Rosberg leads, and Hamilton is second, I think. Yes.
Starting to go racing.
Here we go. Everything to play. It's the first time, I think, in long time that they are so close, Lewis and Nico, since Spain. Let's see if this time crash or not.
Again, and Hamilton seemed
and behind the Red Bulls.
a little bit slow there in reacting to it.
Yeah, but the start.
His rear wing, Hamilton now is streaking.
Good start by Nico on their safety car restart. Ooh, the pressure. Look at the pressure of Lewis. Nico's making mistakes.
Yeah, Lewis, close that gap as much as you can. It's hammer time.
Wow, I think there is one stop left or not? Yes, Nico. Hamilton pit first. Try to make the undercut to Rosberg. Probably he pit first because he was starting on pole. Some teams, probably Mercedes did that. Have a rule that the driver that starts in front of the other have a priority in all pit stops. That's why probably they are pitting first Lewis instead of Nico Rosberg. If doing that, force that Hamilton make the undercut to Nico Rosberg. They need a good pit stop to do it. A bit slow. P3. Now Nico, let's see. It's gonna be close. Wow, very fast.
So they pitted again for a second time. And if Lewis...
But the pit stop of Rosberg again was much better. That's why he's maintained the gap. Even pitting later.
This race from pole today, he is going to have to do some overtaking.
So no more stop. Basically now, if Hamilton wants to win, as is saying David Croft, he has to pass Nico on track. There is no option. And they are third and second because he's leading, I think it's Max Verstappen, because he will go for one stop or something, and let's see if they can catch him.
Nico car ahead, he's on the super soft tyre. 16 laps remaining, need to attack him, pass on track.
Why is he on a softer tyre than me?
Wow, Lewis asking why you put Nico soft and me medium.
So Lewis, we think this is the right tyre to get to the end.
Let's see if they are right. It's close, huh? That's Nico passing the race leader, that was the Red Bull of Max. Nice first. And Lewis has to do the same now, obviously. Here we go. Okay, that's a lap car, a Renault. So, everything to play now. Nico first, Lewis second. Final laps of the race. If Lewis wants to win, has to do it on track. Let's go.
Look at it, this is close. Hamilton got fantastic.
So here he goes then. Is this hammer time? Lewis Hamilton.
This is the last lap.
Wheel to wheel with Nico Rosberg. In towards turn 2. His teammates got the
No! Again.
Hamilton runs wide. And is he going to come onto the track?
Wow, look at that. Look at this moment. Almost crashing Lewis into Nico Rosberg rear. I think he was so furious because Nico pushed wide Hamilton and crashed into him. That's my theory. But he was so furious that I'm not saying he will go into crash to Nico, but it's like I will go in full attack in the rejoin. I don't care if you are there. I will try to be in front of you. Unbelievable. And Nico, look at the front wing sparking.
His teammate, he's now got damage. Nico Rosberg.
Damage. Wow. Oh, the front wing on the floor.
Track, and Lewis Hamilton.
Wow, this is the last lap. That's drama again.
Managed to overtake his teammates. Rosberg might not even end up on the podium.
I will be catched by the Ferrari.
Passed by the Red Bull and the Ferrari.
Wow, unbelievable.
Hamilton takes the Austrian Grand Prix, the 250th Grand Prix win by a British driver, the championship leader in 4th place.
Wow, even Nico was lucky because it was the last lap. If not, he would be lost much more places.
Minus a front wing.
Well done, mate. That's not the race we were after. Yeah, good result.
But I was on the outside. That wasn't me that crashed.
Luis tried to protect himself after the race to say, hey, it's not my fault. The crash is not my fault. Oh, look, Nico Rosberg in his car. Well, at the end, Lewis won and forced Nico to be 4th. So at the end, he closed the gap. 11 points only after 9 rounds.
Nico, a great.
And now let's listen to the drivers after this incident once again. I don't know which driver do you think is the fault here or the blame. It's your opinion, I have mine, but anyway, let's listen to the drivers because this is very interesting. Let's see what they have to talk about it. Look at Nico Rosberg's face, he's so angry.
Strategy today from the team to put you into the lead of this race. How disappointed are you not to be standing on that top step of the podium?
Yeah, massively disappointed for sure. That's a tough one because I was pretty sure I was going to win that. Then I got my brakes overheated on the last lap, and that changed the brakes a lot, and the pedal, and that made it massively difficult.
Had brake issues.
But anyways, I was still in a good position to defend, and I had the inside line, and it's my corner, on the inside, and I was very surprised that Lewis decided to turn in.
Okay, I think I'm not really agree with Nico here. I think Rosberg here did not allow too much to Lewis to go by the outside, but obviously had to defend his position.
Well, Lewis, firstly, congratulations. We've been speaking to Nico, though, and he mentioned that he was leading the race and it was his corner going into that. What would be your take on that?
I can't really I've not really seen the replay. I mean, as far as I'm aware, I was going in ahead. I was ahead, so
I think it was ahead. I had to watch the replay again.
Oh, I'm not really sure. But I did. I left a lot of room. I didn't try to close in or anything like that. I went to the right to the white line. So perhaps it was his corner, but he made a mistake and crashed into me. So
sadly, that's the point. The thing is that Nico is in the inside, and it's not turning in any moment. It's not. Hamilton is in the outside. The corner go to the right side. Nico brakes, but don't let Lewis space enough to try the outside. It's like Nico is braking, passing the apex completely, and not giving room enough to Lewis in the outside. So at the end, Lewis, there is a moment that he has no more room to go. It has turn at some point. If not, it will go wide. But Nico's still not turning to take the corner. So at the end, Nico's still going in a straight line. There is a moment that they have to crash because, you know, at some point Lewis had to turn in to take the corner. For me, that's Nico Rosberg's fault because Nico is not doing anything to avoid contact there.
I don't know I guess I'm definitely not at fault there.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. In this episode, I am agreeing with Hamilton.
You went very deep into that corner. Was that because you were struggling with the brakes, or was it intentional to try and push Lewis wider around the longer route?
Interesting question.
Around the outside.
It was a bit of both. I mean,
a bit of both.
For one, I was struggling to slow the car. Well, that's the main one, really. You know, just struggling to slow the car. But anyways, I'm on the inside.
Well, he can. If it's true that the Nico Rosberg car brakes were overheating, has that excuse, obviously. But it's a matter of belief to Nico or not. Yeah, it's up to you, to everyone. You know, to each person to believe the version they want to believe.
You know, and it's my position, and I have the corner, and I have the right to dictate the way.
I not agree with that. It has the right to dictate, but not, you know, not leaving room to the other car. I mean, if there is not a space, yeah, you have the way to dictate the corner, but you cannot push. You know, you cannot put away the rest of the cars around you. That's just my vision as a fan, as a Formula 1 fan. I'm not driver, obviously. Nico was there. I was not there, but it's my point of view of this accident.
Holding the championship lead, does that you can take more risks in those kind of situations one-on-one with your teammate?
What does it take? What?
Holding the championship lead, does that mean you can actually take more risks knowing you've got less to lose?
No, I don't think about that. I just wanted to win the race today, and it didn't work out.
That's the mentality. But I think this time Rosberg could avoid that crash.
But, you know, I just let it go over my head and I just kept pushing. I was like, okay, if I'm going to win this World Championship, I'm going to have to dig deep. And I dug as deep as I could. I gave everything I had today.
Oh, definitely.
So I feel proud of myself that I don't leave here with any stone unturned. I don't leave here thinking I could have given that extra bit more. I gave everything I got.
When you guys get together, racing one-on-one, in the recent history anyway, it seems you come to blows quite a lot. Take it from America last year or Spain a couple of races ago. What are we going to have to do to keep you guys apart in racing situations?
I don't have an answer to that. I mean, I'm very surprised about today and very, very gutted for sure. So I don't have an answer to that.
I think there is not an answer. At that point, after 3 years fighting each other in every race, I think the tension, the rivalry was so intense that I think there is not a response, as Nico Rosberg is saying, because it's in their DNAs. You know, they are racers, they are drivers, they want to beat each other. So at the end, they are fighting for the Formula 1 World Championship. So probably in these situations, we saw what happened with Max and Hamilton. Obviously, there are drivers that tend to crash more than others, but normally when you have two champions or two driver champion mentalities together, fight one against the other, normally something happens always because they are super competitive. You know, I think it's very difficult. It's not impossible, but difficult that everything goes so clean when you are fighting for a world championship. We saw a lot of times with other drivers. Anyway, move on. British Grand Prix, this is round 11? Well, half points in the championship. So it's raining. Wow, even before they start the race. The other one was in Monaco, the other race that was raining at the beginning. Fortunately, this is not Monaco, you can pass people here. And no rain stopped before the race, so maybe it's a bit wet, but not too much. Lewis on pole again. Now he's getting the confidence and the lucky enough or it had no problems as in the beginning of the season, and now it's finally getting pole constantly. Normally, when everything goes fine for Lewis, he has no issues. He's always on pole in this season. We are seeing.
The British weather has served up what could be a real treat as away we go.
Ooh, smoke there.
Second time this season we started behind the safety car.
What happened this season? Every time we have a bit of rain, we cannot start in a normal standing race start procedure. It's like they don't want to have a normal start under wet conditions. It's true that here it was 2016, only 2 years before we had the crash of Jules Bianchi, fatal crash. That was not fatal crash, but almost fatal crash. That was in wet conditions. I think FIA here at this point of the season in 2016, they had so recently present the accident of Jules Bianchi that they were really cautious in wet conditions, in race starts and these things. Anyway, Rosberg second, Lewis first. They will crash again or what?
The safety car is just really slow, so it's not that easy for us to keep temperatures up.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, almost crashing into the safety car. Look at that.
We can go, Charlie.
Whoa. Be careful, Lewis.
Safety car peels.
Let's go.
And finally, on lap 5 of the British.
We have, wow, man, a lot of people entering the pit, probably to switch to Inter or dry.
Racing for real, but the top 4 all stay out.
Only stay out the Mercedes and the Red Bulls.
On the wet tyres.
Now the pits.
Using this opportunity.
View the Inter, no?
To Verstappen too.
Double pit stop. Yeah, Inter tire.
Faster on this circuit, on this.
No, Nico. Double stop.
So Rosberg hasn't lost any time. Good work by the Mercedes team. That worked out nice.
Yeah, good work by Mercedes there.
It's important to look after these tyres. Important.
Look how Rosberg's.
Oh, this is Verstappen.
Often see it pass.
What? Whoa.
Round at Chapel, there he goes.
What a move by Max.
Verstappen moves.
So Nico lost another place, now it's P3. Obviously, in the British Grand Prix, the fans applauding and cheering that move because they were cheering for Lewis in this championship rivalry. So Nico lost another place. That's good for Lewis. So I understand they are cheering for that. Obviously, and it's not 2021. They are cheering now an overtake of Max Verstappen. Not sure if they will do the same after 2021. I'm sure some of them, yes, but not everyone. Well, Lewis is still leading. Time to pit for dry. Yes.
Hamilton going.
Wow.
Now. He doesn't spin in the way that others have.
Wow.
He was very cautious coming back on.
Well, the track is not completely dry still. Fortunately, there is a big roadscape there for Hamilton. But if not, he could lose the race.
DRS for Nico.
Oh, Nico again against Max, as in Canada. Can he pass him finally?
Nico Rosberg, Max Verstappen.
Wow. I can't. Hey, the outside. No.
That's moving twice. That is not on.
Classic.
Copy that message, Nico.
Here we go.
Outside at Stowe goes Nico Rosberg.
Ah, now have it.
He's got his own back.
Ooh, no. Ah, yes. Oh, that was close. Great move. Not easy to see someone passing Verstappen by the outside. It's not so easy to see that. No.
0-1 chassis default 0.
Look at that. Nico Rosberg now. This is very interesting. Nico Rosberg have a gearbox issue, and the engineer is telling him immediately that the setting it had to change. But remember that was banned. But so it's should receive a penalty for that, for receiving instructions.
Avoid 7th gear, Nico. Avoid 7th gear.
That should not be allowed, as far as I'm aware.
Well, what does that mean? I mean, I have to shift through it.
Stay firm, Nico. You need to shift through it.
So it has to go from 6th to 8th, but it has to change shift after really quick, or what, or how?
Rosberg in trouble. 10-second penalty. That'll put him back in 3rd place.
I don't remember why he received 10 place grid penalty. I think it was because of the instructions of the engineer said to Nico. But I don't remember, to be honest. I will have to check it. We can do it, by the way. Can we check it? Let me check it just by Rosberg, then place grid penalty. No, grid penalty no. Trace same place penalty Silverstone 2016. For an illegal look at for an illegal radio exchange with his Mercedes team. Okay, exactly. That's what I was understanding. Yeah. Okay, it was because of that. You cannot receive instructions so clear. It's a bit weird because we saw in Azerbaijan that Nico studied really well the manual of the steering wheel, to say in some way. But for that issue, he had no idea what to do. So, but I'm a bit surprised how fast the engineer even knew that he will receive a penalty, was advising Nico. Probably because my theory is that the engineers were concerned if Nico will not resolve that problem, probably he will have to retire. So probably they decide to give Nico the instructions, even not being allowed, taking the penalty, because they will lose places, but not the race, or they will not be retired. So they prefer to lose some places than to score 0 points, being retired if that issue is critical. So I think that's my theory why the engineers, even knowing that it's not allowed, they give instructions to Nico.
It's Lewis Hamilton winning the British Grand Prix.
Anyway, lost 1 place from P2 to P3 only, so technically he only lost 3 points for that infringement. And and Lewis wins again.
At Silverstone.
Awesome stuff, Lewis. Great job, man. British Grand Prix.
Good job. Here, Lewis in Silverstone, as always, is a beast.
Great job this weekend, guys. Thank you so much for your continued efforts. Everyone back at the factory. Right now, I'm thinking about all the people.
Great victory. Great victory. And look at that, only 1 point between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg in the championship. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. After all issues, trouble, difficulties Lewis had, is there. Round 10 of 21. The next race is exactly the half points of the season, or middle point of the season, and it's just there. We saw Rosberg also had some difficulties, some problems, some crashes. He lost points, but probably much less than Hamilton. So, but now at this point of the season, it's the opposite. It's like Lewis Hamilton is having a clean run, and Rosberg is having a lot of difficulties, crashes, gearbox issues, broken suspension issues. In this point of the season, Rosberg is having the same difficulties that Lewis had at the beginning. So for all people that was telling that if Lewis will not have so many problems at the beginning, maybe he will have chances to do better in the whole season. We can see now, we are seeing that Nico also has difficulties in the 2016. It was not so easy for Nico at this point of the season. So at the end, luck was a bit balanced, at least at this point of the season, guys. So anyway, let's continue. Now the championship fight is, in the peak. Next round, I think it's Hungary. 1 point difference. Let's see what happened. Qualifying.
And there were yellow flags as well now in Sector 2, and that is because Fernando Alonso has had a spin and a moment, and unless he can get that car going, Rosberg has got half a chance of doing this. Sebastian Vettel didn't have to lift off either in that middle sector.
It's a bit wet. It's a mixed conditions qualifying. It's a bit wet.
Rosberg crosses the line. He's got pole position, and Lewis Hamilton had to back off.
Oh, Lewis lost the pole position because he has to back off with that yellow flag.
And that yellow flag caused him to back off in the middle sector and not have the chance to improve his time. Rosberg has snatched pole position, 50th front row start in Formula 1.
So now this time Rosberg was a bit lucky because of that yellow flag of Lewis. Anyway, take it, pole position for Nico. Let's go. Luis P2 anyway, he's there. He can fight with Nico. Lights out and away we go.
Really well.
Wow, with a star. Ah, the Red Bull. Who is the Red Bull? Ricciardo. Ah, Rosberg lost the place with both.
Hamilton takes the lead ahead of Ricciardo. Rosberg.
That's something unusual this season, to see that Lewis Hamilton's start is better than Rosberg's start.
Down to the third and has been pressurized now by Max Verstappen.
Wow, by the outside Nico. What a good braking.
Claims that second place.
Wow. Good move by Nico to recover that place so quickly. Well, now he lost the place with Lewis. Pit stops.
So you just need to pick the pace up a little bit. I'm working on it.
It's very close, Nico, to Lewis.
Okay, Lewis, so Ricciardo's about to get onto the back of the train, so we really need to open this gap up.
Well, I'm driving to the best of my ability with these tyres.
Okay, copy that, Lewis. But if these cars bunch up, then we'll be bringing Nico in first.
Oh, that's a threat. A menace from the team to Lewis, like saying, or you pick at the pace right now, or we will try the undercut with Nico. Probably Lewis tried to hold it up a bit to Nico. He's trying to do some tricks, maybe, to try to put him in a situation where the guy that is in P3 can undercut him, maybe.
Well, why would they do that? It's not like I'm driving slow, I'm trying.
It's just the risk is that we're putting the win in jeopardy.
That's your example there of the Mercedes-Benz rules of engagement.
Lewis accept the challenge, stop.
This Haas seems to be.
Oh, this is a lap car.
Wait a long time, doesn't it?
Oh, it's disturbing, Lewis. Look at that. He's doing that gesture that I will not repeat on the screen because it's a bit, disrespectful. But it's showing his middle finger basically to that hash.
Look behind.
Because Lewis understands that it's, it's should to pull away much earlier. Now allow that Nico to get closer to Lewis.
Look how that has given Nico Rosberg a bit of encouragement. Martin, the gap was 1.7 seconds. It's now
look at that now.
0.6 of a second, and Rosberg has managed to get past the Haas down the main straight.
Anyway, in this circuit, it's really difficult to pass. Rosberg should to be much faster than Lewis. Let's see.
Sees the checkered flag, and for the 5th time.
Oh, I can't.
At the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Lewis wins again. I think it's the third victory in a row.
And for the first time in 2016, takes the championship lead as well.
And championship lead for the first time in round 11, guys. He did it. Finally, Hamilton did it. After all difficulties, all points lost in the first races, look at that. It's there. It's unbelievable. And Nico Rosberg knew it could happen. He knew. He was living this situation the 2 previous years. But it's unbelievable how difficult it is to beat Lewis in equal machinery. When he feels confident, when he has a car to push, it's one of the greatest, if not the best, for some people.
Awesome race, Lewis. Great stuff.
As always, guys, thank you so much for all your hard work this weekend and everyone back in the factory. This is a great result for the team. I appreciate all the hard work. Thank you.
Very good. Oh, that was the dab was the name. That move. It was the trend in that era in 2016. Good job, Lewis. Bam! I love that. And the trophy on the air. It's one of my favorite editings in the documentary. It was fun to edit this race with that song.
It's a question to Lewis.
Oh, this is what happened. Oh, that's interesting. Let's move to the post-race press conference. But now, let's talk about what happened in qualifying. Remember, Lewis Hamilton was chasing pole and he had that yellow flag in the last try. And Nico was able to manage to, even with that yellow flag, to be on pole. So that was polemic, and now let's see both drivers explain the situation.
Lewis, in yesterday's Mercedes team press conference, your session, you'd said you'd asked for urgent clarification of the double yellow flag ruling, regulation. In fact, your words were, it said it just needs to be clarified now. About an hour later, Nico got called to the stewards. Do you believe that you influenced it in any way? Did you contact anybody, or was it purely coincidental that Nico was called in an hour after you made that comment?
Well, the stewards need to come up with some kind of solution, because it is in, for the whole 23 years of racing, it has been, if it's yellow flag, you slow down, and if it's double yellow flag, you be prepared to stop. Now, Nico was doing the same speed at the apex that I was doing on the previous time lap. So if there happened to be a car that was spun or a marshal in the track, would have been pretty hard for him to have slowed down in that case. So that's why, and the fact that he didn't get penalized for it means that we need to be careful, because the message we're sending not only to the drivers here, but also to the drivers in the low categories, it's now possible for you to only lose 1/10 of a second in a double wave yellow flag section, which is the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous scenarios with the double yellow flag. So
I'm agree with that in that regard. I mean, it's really dangerous. Don't back off too much on their double yellow flag. But you know what is the problem is we saw, and in general, drivers do not respect too much that. We saw a lot of times when they are pushing in a qualified lap, even with double yellow flag, they back off like, I don't know, some tenths of the second sometimes. It's like, but anyway, what is St. Louis, in my opinion, is right. I mean, it's what each driver should to do.
So they need to clear that up, because before it was 2/10 you're supposed to.
This is the Nico Rosberg lap. I think in the yellow flag lap,
lose with one yellow flag and half a second with two yellow flags. Is where it wasn't the case yesterday, and there was no penalty. So going into the next race, we could be battling for the next for pole position, and we see double yellow flags. We only know we have to do a small lift and lose 1/10 of a second, and we'll be fine, and go purple in the sector. So that's why it does need to be clarified.
Because under double yellow flag, Nico did purple in that lap to get pole.
And I'm sure Charlie and the stewards are going to do so.
Under the rule book, as far as I'm aware, it should be eliminated that lap, because if you improve under yellow flags, it should not be counted. But I don't remember in 2016 how the rules were written. But anyway, on paper, if Nico got purple sector in that section, under double yellow flags should be eliminated at lap time. But I don't know how the rules were written in that time, to be honest.
Because it needs to be clear.
So thank you for making that statement.
Tension.
So now I'm going to put my response.
Yes, obviously Nico has to respond that. It's really serious what Lewis said. And it's not so crazy. I mean, his point makes sense.
And what you have to do with double yellow is significantly reduce your speed, and make sure you're going safe. I went 20 kilometers per hour slower into that corner. 20 kilometers per hour is a different world in an F1 car,
Okay, 20 kilometers per hour. It's a bit different, but it's enough.
20 kilometers per hour, you are going proper slow. And there's, that's completely, everything is safe. That's how I did my speed, and lifted off 30 meters before my braking point. So I was just rolling there 20 kilometers per hour slower until I got to the apex. Then, of course, when you're in the apex, I had a much tighter line because I went in slow, and then so I can accelerate out again. So definitely I significantly reduced my speed, and that's what it says that you need to do. And that's why for the stewards, that was completely acceptable. It was very, very obvious what I did, very clear. And of course, on a drying track, you're going to get massively faster every lap. It's not like the track was consistent. Drying track, it's irrelevant what the sector time was, because you're going to get so much quicker every time you go out there, because there's wet patches, and when they dry, you just go so much quicker.
Okay, makes sense as well. Okay, yeah, I understand that. Nico reduced the speed, 20 kilometers per hour, rolling out the car in that apex. And that's why it got purple, because even doing that, losing time, the track was getting dry. Every lap in a track that is getting dry, you are faster. And even reducing the speed there, technically it reduced the speed, but it got purple because the track was less wet. So it's a bit of gray area in that rule book, maybe. So it did purple, but why? It did purple because the track improved a lot from previous lap, but in the point where the double yellow flags were, it reduced the speed. And the steward says, yeah, we saw the telemetry and you clearly reduced the speed. So should we penalize Nico for that? Even getting pole sector is difficult to say. But if the proof is that it really reduced the speed, it should not be penalized. It's very, very difficult to judge this incident, guys, to be honest, for me. I don't know. I think both drivers are right in what they are saying in some way, you know. But rules are rules. And if 2016 said that what Nico did is right, it should be right.
So in that segment, I was slower where there was the yellow flag. But of course, in the big sector, yeah, I'm quicker because the track is getting quicker and I'm pushing in all the other corners. So it was a pretty clear case for the stewards, and that's why I didn't get any penalty.
Okay, both make sense. Anyway, as you can see, the tension in every race, in every post-race press conference is so high between these two. They both use all elements possible to try to put pressure on the other, as for example Lewis did here, going to the stewards and to talk about what Nico did there. Even being his teammate, tried to put him in a situation to receive a penalty. Both are playing with that as well. And this is the Silver War in the maximum expression, you know. That's why people love so much this documentary or this season between these two, as I do, because it's like everything is everything possible to try to destroy the other. I will use it, you know. It's like they are giving everything they have to try to be champion. And to be honest, I think it's the right moment to stop here. 2 hours 30 minutes, unbelievable. I think it's the right point in the half of the season to stop here the first part of the Watchalong and continue the next week watching the second part. But as always, if you watch my live streams, in the final minutes of the Watchalong, I always have a special section for big fans of my work, my documentaries, to invite you to get more information and to know more information about this extraordinary documentary series, the Silver War. If you are a big fan, this is for you guys. And what are you talking about? Let me show you this. This is patreon.com/floss. This is my Patreon page where people can support the work I do on these videos. Here we have a community. I upload exclusive videos explaining things about my work, about my edits, about my documentaries. As you can see in the collection section, I have different collections, and one of them is a collection dedicated to the Silver War. Okay. In this collection, I'm collecting all posts where I explain or I upload the special things about my documentaries, about my Silver War documentaries. As you can see, as you can read here, secrets behind the Silver War F1, how to watch, music playlists, exclusive videos revealing more details about the making process of the Lewis Hamilton versus Nico Rosberg rivalry Mercedes documentaries. And as you can see, there are a couple of exclusive content for the premium members in my Patreon page. Exclusive videos like, for example, this one where I explain the reasons why I made the Silver War. This is a masterclass where I explain how I built the story of the Silver War 2014 documentary. Let's watch the preview. At the end, there is a context with the opening, with a first act break, a midpoint where the fencing is broken, the second act break where both protagonists have difficulties in the fight they have for the championship. They fight each other on track, and at the end the climax where one of them wins, the other loses, but at the end the friendship is fixed because they have mutual respect. It's extremely important to create a connection, an emotional connection between the viewer and the protagonist of the documentary. That's why during the whole documentary, this is a masterclass of how I built the story of the Silver War 2014 documentary. If you are really interested on it, very interesting video. For example, this one is really cool. In this post I explain the changes I made in the Ultimate Edition you are watching in this watch-along. Basically, this is blurred because it's exclusive for premium members. I explain how the settings I use for color grading the documentary, some techniques I use to change the colors, the shadows, the lights, and to improve massively the look of this ultimate edition of the Silver War F1 2016 documentary. It's a very, very interesting post for, as I said, people that is super fan of these documentaries and they would like to get more information about it. Or the official music playlist, because a lot of people ask me, Danny, what is the name of that song, that sound in this moment of the documentary? What is the right name of the song? I spend a lot of time working in a full playlist where you can listen all songs that sound in the 2014, 2015, and 2016 documentary. You can know the names, you can listen each song individually, and you have an individual link that goes to that song to listen fully. In case you would like to do it with the names of the song, in case you would like to find them. I spent massive time creating this post and finding each song of every single one Silver War documentary, and this is a very good work that is for fans, as I said, of the Silver War. And basically here you can get access to this Silver War collection being premium member. If you decide to support my work on Patreon, you can do it getting the premium pass, and in that way you will get access to this content of the Silver War and much more about other F1 documentaries and F1 edits. There are more than 100 exclusive posts that I share with my Patreons, with my premium members, where I reveal a lot of details, secrets about the edits I made, the story behind why I made them, the reasons, technical details of color grading, lights, shadows, plugins I use to edit the images, a lot of things. People that really love my videos and they would like to get more info about this kind of insights as of the editor behind me, you can get it getting the premium pass. Also, you have the option to get the supporter ticket. This is for people that is not interested in the exclusive content I offer on Patreon, but they want to support me as a content creator. So, as I said, this is for big fans, guys. If you really love my work and you would like to support it in some way, but some people every week sometimes ask me, Danny, there is a way I can support your work. You are you should to receive more support. Where I can support you, and I always say the same. Patreon is the main platform, but also there are more platforms. Just below me, you can see just behind, I have a coffee page. This is my username, Danny Floss, or Buy Me a Coffee. If you know these platforms, in case you know these platforms and you are used to support people through these platforms, you can go there. My username is Danny Floss, as you can read behind, and my Patreon username is Floss. So that's the way. Every time people ask me about that, I always respond the same. These are the platforms where people can support all this. Obviously, this amount, huge efforts I put in these documentaries. That I do it because I love to do that. I love to bring you these documentaries. But obviously, your support is super important to keep dedicating more and more time to create more videos in the future, to try to keep bringing you more documentaries in the future about F1. That's the best thing, the best way to do it. So if you decide to do it, as always, thank you so much, guys. Your support is super, super important. And as I said, if you do it, just I will be super grateful, really. Thanks to you, I can keep doing that. And as always, I will place a card in the replay to my Patreon page. In case you don't know how to go directly, I will place the link to my Patreon and the rest of the platforms where you can support me in the description of this live stream and in the comments below of this same live. But the card will be there. And the other thing I would like to comment is some people also ask me about merch. The t-shirt, Silver War t-shirt. Is possible to get this t-shirt with the official Silver War logo type? Yes, it's possible. It's possible. Floss Store. This is the Floss Store. Also, you will see the link in the comment section and in the description. And this is a place where you can get the t-shirt with the official logo of the Silver War. As you can see, this is the t-shirt I have. But there are more products. For example, this version that is in silver, and at the back you can see more details like the racing number of Nico and Luis with the stars. Also, you can get pullover hoodies for winter time. Super cool, super warm. I have some of them, and then I have to say that they are really warm, really warm. Mugs for coffee, water, whatever you are drinking with the logo type. or even posters. I have this one in my room. I cannot show you right now, unfortunately, because the camera is not in the right place, but I have this poster, and it's cool. It's cool. It's big. It's the quality is very good, really good, and you can place it in wherever you want. The dining room, in your room, in, I don't know, in the bath, whatever you want. And it's cool, with the racing number of Nico, Luis, stars, Silver War style, and the logotype in silver. That is super, super cool. So, Floss Store. Also, I will place probably the link to the store here, where you can get all this merch. And as I said, this is for fans. This is for big fans of the Silver War documentaries, the Silver War story. And it's a way to have something physical that, represents the Silver War. All these stories that we love so much. So, and also it's another way to support the channel and me as a content creator. So if you do it and you get one of these products, thank you so much as well. What else? Apart from that, let me read the details. I don't want to miss anything, to be honest, before to say goodbye today. That was a really long stream, but I'm very happy with the result. Thank you, by the way, to all people that wrote in the chat today. Thank you, guys. As always, you made easier or funny or entertaining to be here with all of you watching the Silver War 2016. I was waiting so long for these guys to bring back again this documentary to the channel. This is the first part. Obviously, in 7 days, we will be watching the second part. But basically, I think this is everything I would like to say for today. And now, as always, for people that is watching the replay of this live stream, you will be able to watch in the future, in 7 days, when I will be streaming the second part of this documentary, will be available here, okay? And to the other people that was watching the live, thank you so much for staying there. See you in 7 days for watching the final part of the documentary. You cannot miss it. See you soon.